right. Here we are for day one of the NA versus EU showdown. We previously just finished our first day one for EU, and now we're back with the NA groups. So we're going to be having three different groups for NA. We have 24 total teams, and in tonight's event, we are going to be having Group A versus Group B. A lot of recognizable names here, plus some new ones. You guys can see the team list in the Group A and Group B section. If this is your first time tuning in to any of our events, we have some information for you guys, including some of the regular season prize pool. So this is just for the regular season, which is going to be taking place over the next 3 weeks. We have a separate prize pool for North America and Europe. And then for the finals, we have a whopping $4,000 just for the end event. The first place team is going to be taking $2,000, splitting that four ways, which is a great prize for all of the PUBG console esports out there. So big shout out to Main Gaming for setting up this event. And of course, we have our daily map rotation for our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday stream during the regular season. We have 5 matches each event, 3 games on Erangel, 2 on Miramar, and right now we're just about to load in to game 1. Perfect timing, Stento. I should also welcome in Stento, our fearless leader here at Main Gaming. Myself, I'm Blitz5. Should have maybe entered that a little earlier. But we're here ready for game 1. What's going on, Stento? Take us on the flight path and tell us what's happening.
Oh, as always, I'm excited to be here. First flight path looks like we're going from Lipovka down to the Primorsk area. So a lot of the map is going to be in reach here for people with their normal drops. Group A versus Group B, as you mentioned, we've seen a lot of these teams before, but there's been a bit of a roster mania, different players going to different teams, a bit of a switch up here. So what was a little bit of a top-heavy North American competitive side has evened its way out. In the last couple events that we have hosted have been very hotly contested, and we're in for another good one tonight. It is very exciting to be here for the debut of the North American section. We have 24 teams representing North America in this event, and it'll be whittled down to 9 for the finals. So it is going to be hotly contested, and just like that, Blitz, it's a couple areas on the map that are looking perhaps like a hot drop to start. It looks like MG is pretty close to PI in that Gatka area, and the school apartments looks pretty crowded as well. 187Zs, we're getting pretty used to them taking those apartments, but it looks like they're going to have the Dub Hub nearby for this tournament.
Yeah, and something interesting, Stento and I, again, we just finished an hour and a half ago, the EU event. There really wasn't that many hot drops because we see a lot of that in NA. Stento and I obviously have been casting NA for a while now, so we were more familiar with these teams and how they play. So I'm kind of interested to see, but nothing really panned out. So there technically wasn't a hot drop here, just a couple teams getting kind of close. There almost was one. And what's interesting here, Stento, is we have the same circle. We saw this twice in EU earlier today, and we have a Milta center circle. The first circle just left Milta in the valley here, and then the second one was a little bit more, actually they were kind of in the same place. They were very close to one another, kind of in the field past north of Milta. So we'll see where this one ends up going. Only a few teams in the actual circle.
Yeah, a very interesting and very familiar circle. If you were with us for our event earlier, this was the exact circle for game 1 in our Europe section. And I think we ended just to the north side of that Eno squad. So it was kind of coming off that shelter hill into the farm field is where we ended a couple times. So we'll have to keep a close eye on how this shifts. But just like earlier, there's hardly anyone in zone right now, and lots of teams are going to have a pretty difficult first rotation here.
It looks like 187 might have moved into school, and Dub Hub Dilla is by themselves. Taking a look here.
Yeah, interesting early aggression coming out of the 187Zs. They must have identified that there's a solo over here pretty quickly, and you love to see that game 1 aggression.
Yeah, they're coming in from the side right below school.
I'm not sure Dilla really has any idea that this is going on right now. I'm going to get into his perspective and kind of see what he has going on, Blitz, but just hanging out inside, I don't think he's heard anyone yet.
Yeah, I'm going to let you take over, Sento. I'm not getting any game volume on my side, so I'm going to try to troubleshoot this on the fly. We'll see what 187 is going to do here. They definitely know that Dilla is in this area. I think they saw him drop here. Dilla now knows they're here because he's got the hard peek here on the door.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the rest of the Dub Hub is going to try to roll up and play whatever sort of help they can here, but Insane knew that they were coming, and that man hardly ever misses his shots. Wabaku, unfortunately, trying to kind of play rescue mission for Dilla here is just going to meet a head-on with 4 187Z players, and now it's still just Dilla trapped underneath this entire squad.
Dilla catches swag out, which is a big
drop their guard a
loss.
little bit. Yeah, unfortunate. Dilla was ready on the first floor here and is going to take a quick point for the Dub Hub. Unfortunate for the 187Zs, just weren't tightly packed enough for that push. Insane is on the move and has located Dilla, but shots are getting traded out. Both players about down to 25 HP here, Blitz. The heals are going off on both different sides. There you go. A good nade from Insane into that bathroom is going to take down Dilla. I could hardly hear that nade as well. I think Dilla kind of struggled to realize where it was. So some early game carnage here. The 187Z is wasting no time to get aggressive onto this Dub Hub squad. Both of them, however, are going to have to move here soon. Brody was pushing up to try to make a little bit of a wave himself, but Mistake was ready with the M4. Takes him down with some straight headshots. Insane is going to push up and get that thirst. So unfortunate for the Dub Hub here. A little bit of a disjointed rescue mission / save attempt on one of their members there. Dilla, who kind of landed here alone. And unfortunately, three of the Dub Hub members are going to drop there. One member we just saw rotate away on the north side.
Yeah, Insane only losing one member could have definitely been worse, but I'm sure they're kind of a little bummed to lose one there. We have a little bit of audio here. Might be a little bit distorted for game one. I'm going to keep working on that as we kind of catch some of the rotations. Many teams have already made their way into the center zone. And we have BH here, who looks like they're taking a pickup to the center compound.
Yeah, you love to see how often these are being used. And again, we watched a bunch of these emergency pickups on Miramar, but this time it's the Bloodhounds. BH got IREC and Shadow and Freight here, landing on a very popular compound when we do circle onto this side of the map. So they're going to be comfortable there for at least a zone or two, probably. MG just rolling into the compound to their north, another powerful spot where we saw some big important battles take place between a couple of European heavy hitting squads. But for now, MG is quietly pulling into this compound. It looks like BH Muerte is going to pull up just to the east side and kind of have a little bit of a look-see over here and try to get an angle onto MG, whether the rest of the teammate has communicated that they pulled up there or whatnot. Muerte as a solo, just kind of seeing what he can see from a different angle. Perhaps going to take some time here and see if he can pick up any kills or any easy ones, and then maybe retract to the squad in a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a smart play from Muerte. Risky, though, if he gets knocked, but might not be an easy push for MG anyways. Kind of just a good angle to keep track of that compound. Trying to track some other teams potentially moving in. I see some shots being traded back and forth. If we see any teams crash each other, we will definitely tune in. Also, just want to let everybody know that I'm aware that it seems like the game audio is kind of off for this match. So we'll get that resolved for game 2. It's just going to be on the lower side. And right now on the bottom side, Dub Hub Albos randomly crashes this wizard compound. Unbeknownst to him, he's in between Muerta and the rest of his team and main game. Is kind of the worst place to take this early on. But actually,
wow, a combination of Albos with the AK and Tragsy from the side. Albos is actually going to get that kill point for the Dub Hub. Knock came out from Tragsy for MG, but that is unfortunate for Muerte there.
That was a risky play to just send it right into the field. I didn't think it was going to go that way for Muerta there. That was kind
It
of
was almost like he didn't think the MG squad had an angle, so he could kind of just full send this as a 1v1. But yeah, they had some pretty clear sight lines on that Harry Potter because they were already looking that way with the crash from Albos.
Yeah, unfortunate situation for the Bloodhounds because they could have easily been 4 up. He didn't really need to be there. I was kind of worried that maybe a team would rotate on that backside, but it ended up just being the solo that did enough damage there to cause a problem. We have RMV here rotating from Lipovka. Couple shots happening north of Shelter. We'll stay tuned. It looks like there might be a push happening from SI onto AE. They're on foot, trying to get closer. I'm actually going to tap into that Stento. Right now we're watching Eliminator with the AUG 4 times. AE's going to take off actually and just head to the east.
It's a pretty interesting spot to try to take a fight here on this north side of zone where SI is. So AE kind of electing to just kind of move away and try to relocate for now. They're going to have plenty of area towards prison. As you can see, they're going past the west side right now. And it looks like they're going to stop just at that. I believe that's a Harry Potter tower there on the northwest side of prison. And that's going to be a decent spot to kind of slowly work up the prison hill to the south side. But right now it's CK, RMV, and Team Eno that are really in good spots. Phase 9 also doing a decent job of rotating here early. They're sending a couple teams, a couple members into those blues, and they're leaving Blurred Sea kind of back to anchor. So some good rotations coming out early here from Phase 9 as well. But several teams have already found a comfortable spot here, Blitz, and might be a little bit of time before we see some teams clash.
Yeah, a couple teams rotating kind of near the lumberyard, top of this mountain. I don't know a great call out for that area next to the lumberyard, but a lot of teams like to play up there early here. So far, 187's taking that spot. It's interesting that AE, you kind of called out the Harry Potter tower they took on the north side. I'm kind of really anti Harry Potter buildings at this point. I mean, if like a 1 or 2 members got to go there, but this early on, it's just there's no visibility there. It used to be a good play, and I feel like players have gotten so good at countering it now that it's harder to play out of now.
Spot, but just like you're saying, if you're gonna sit 4 deep in that Harry Potter tower, then you don't know what you're doing, and it's not a good play. But Ascension Esports wisely is kind of sending watches and T-Bug onto the rocks here, leaving 1 or 2 down low just to kind of watch the north side, perhaps any teams rotating along the road there. But they've got a good spread. They kind of got their wits about them on what's going on here. They might spot the toxic lady lasers across the prison rocks here pretty soon. And that might be watches because he's kind of heading towards that way with the 4X on the AUG now.
Yeah, Stento, I switched over to PI. They crashed the garage building here where TXC was. They had a knock on TXC and they crashed it. But then Boat was able to get a nade and take out the crash. And I don't know what the rest of PI is doing. They're bailing on the rest of the crash. So PI thought they could pick up 2 kills. They actually lose 2 members there.
So this is something we see a lot, Blitz, and I think we talk about it a lot. The 2-2 split, the pros and the cons of this. And I feel like there's so many times that we see the 2-2 split get crashed by a 4-man and cripple that team that decided to play the split. In this case, Boat again was able to hold strong and pick up a couple kills. But early on, Team Toxic here does lose 1 member. I believe that was Tremis going down. So it's a little bit of a give and take there. But things are starting to heat up here a little bit, Blitz.
Another team crashing Boat. Now it's AFI trying. This time
Boat
it's
said
3v1 and Boat is actually heading up the hill.
He said enough of this. What is everyone crashing my building? That's a 4-man AFI and not really what you want on the backside there. Boat almost gets taken down. He's going to need a little bit of help from the rest of his team. Onyx and Triple OG up the hill are going to need to provide a little bit of smoke and cover fire to get him back up this hill.
Yeah, we have Boat was just completely getting jumped on there. Hasn't made it cleanly back to his squad yet, though. He's still stuck at this tree. Smokes are coming in. AFI has completely taken over this building now. We saw these buildings become really into effect with these zones. The last few times we saw this zone, again, earlier in the earlier events today with EU, we saw this zone twice. This one definitely centering up. I mean, TXC and AFI are pretty much center with this zone now.
Yeah, the shift pulled hard back to the west side. It did look like we were going to end up maybe in all that barren wasteland near Milta Power and Browntown over there, but we have another airlift going on. I love bringing the attention to that. Torch is taking the airlift over towards the Milta side over there. We're seeing some long-range knock trades go out, but they're going to be able to get these reses off on AFI. PI doing some nice bolty work long range. I believe that was nap time. Just a solo in that wizard tower over there, but I believe that airlift that we just spoke about decided to take the edge of Milta, so now Torch is comfortable there. Blitz?
Yeah, they're in a great spot. Uncontested. Oh, they only have to deal with 7K on the opposite side of Milta. Otherwise, all clear here for them.
Another thing I might want to bring your attention to is on the north side, Blitz, by the lumberyard. We're seeing Team 2 in green here. The Toxic Lady Lasers are getting awfully close to Bazaar and the rest of the console killers. Bazaar is going to take down Virgo with that AK. Going to get the thirst, and I'm not sure that the rest of the Lady Lasers are kind of a little bit further to the west. Not really going to have much to say about that first knock there, but we'll have to see. Oh, it's actually Turbot opening things up with a second one. Very interesting to see how aggressive CK is going to take this here.
Nice shots from Turbot there with the SLR.
Another knock on to Cerny here. So now it's just up to Crazy, kind of deciding that this is not worth her time, and she's going to go into one of those Harry Potter towers that we seem to be talking a lot about in this first game here. But a couple of quick kills being picked up there by the CK squad, and they're very comfortable where they are on the north side of this lumberyard. And
I'm trying to look at this team, Stento, because I know I wonder if this is this a mix of two different teams, because I feel like some of these members were maybe on a different team previously. Maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not really familiar with Pixel, but I remember Ranger Jr. had kind of a different squad, and he was always kind of a standout player. So, and I know recently one of our weeklies, one of the last ones we did, CK came in really strong. So definitely a team to watch for tonight. But they're also about to run into AE here right below them.
Yeah, Bazaar has no idea how close he is. He's trying to get some AK shots, but T-Bug drops him with the barrel. Those are some headshots connecting onto Bazaar. The rest of CK is a little bit too far south up the hill to have anything to say about a revive here. So they're going to cut and run, leave Bazaar here, and the rest of Ascension Esports 4 deep. Pretty comfortable with their spot right now, just kind of poking around, trying to figure out exactly how close the console killers are to this edge zone.
Yeah, and they have to watch out for AE because they have some nice firepower. They also have a FAMAS, it looks like, as well. This is a bit of a rolling hill, though, so it's kind of hard to attack CK here. They're probably going to try to rotate right, that is, for AE to the north side.
Yeah, and our next circle has popped. Blitz Phase 4 is going exactly where we went for our first event, again, earlier in the EU section. This farm field just to the north side of Milta is basically center zone. And the difficult thing about this is how late stay in Milta. At what point is it going to pull teams to the north side into that farm field? And for those on the north, how much time do you have to work with that hill as you come down? Because it is slowly going to pull you off of it. We have seen it multiple times. So it's kind of an interesting zone where the center is almost unplayable till end zone. End game, excuse me.
No, absolutely. I mean, we saw this. Stento brought it up. I mean, let's just tap into it. Look at the cover here. It's just these hay bales. A lot of people try to play that shed, but once you go there, it's really hard to leave. You do have this rock kind of on the back side. And then another spot people like to take is this rock right up the hill. But really this, you think this is a good cover. It's good temporarily, but then usually people can surround you. There's also third-party shots from Milta and the surrounding area. So it just becomes really difficult, and really you want to be where TXC is because they have the commanding lead. Usually people will get on the roof here at some point, and then it's kind of easier to fight out of here or the top spot. But normally there's so many teams fighting for this top spot, Stento, that it's kind of usually you don't make it out of here 4 strong, and we're going to see some fights right now as well. We're seeing AE already put some shots onto SI. There's already a team in this compound as well. So
I'm not sure either of the teams pushing in know that the 187Zs are too deep in there. All of the fighting is taking place outside this house. At some point, someone's going to have to go for a little bit of cover here. But right now, it's Kitty Meow versus T-Bug. T-Bug continuing to frag out here in long range. Third party from TXC is going to take down Panda. So Team 10 quickly kind of up in arms here. I'm not sure where the rest of their squad is. It's just Eliminator. He's joining the party now.
He's coming from
the
behind.
north side, Blitz. Yep, he could have a big factor into this.
And now AE's trying to get in. They know SI's in here. They're fighting, trying to take him out, but there's stuns and throwables going over the place. This is really, really hectic right now. One of the members of SI is down. T-Bug finally makes it in, and they're going to take out 187 squad here. We're down to 13 teams, and now AE's lost the player. Watches is knocked. Trying to find where that
very interesting. Such a third party, but they didn't know they were in there. It's a kind of a unconventional third party situation there, coming from the inside of the fight and in those buildings there. And another third party, TXC, kind of playing spoiler for some of the players that were hanging out on the outside of the compound here. But taking a look at your map and over the top, it's still a very tough zone to play. That farm field is centering up more than ever. And we were talking about that shack. One of the toxic lady lasers has found their way into that shack, so she'll be comfortable there until someone's kind of forced into her. And just gonna have to be careful of the teams coming out of Milta. That's gonna be a full team of Torch, the Bloodhounds, as well as the Seven Kings.
Yeah, Sento, this circle is a little bit more south than the ones we've seen because more of Milta is in. So the big question is, if you're Team 13 or Team 11 here on the outside, when do you go? Most teams like to wait till the very end, but I'm kind of under the belief now that because we're so developed in the competitive ranked PUBG, even in a regular match, people are so aware to watch for those rotations that sometimes it's almost good to go now and catch people off guard, because usually people are going to be watching you, and I can almost guarantee that some of these guys will get eliminated on rotation, but we'll see how it goes. CK is sending it right now, testing their luck to see where they can end up. And I guess
they're trying to take a little bit of rock cover, and this is a decent spot as long as no one can really catch you from the north side. But unfortunately for CK, there is a team coming down the north side that's going to be Ascension Esports right there. Blitz, something funny I didn't notice. This team on the north side of Milta, 7K, it's K7. I didn't realize that this was Quavo over here.
I did not.
So this is a big time veteran team. We'll have to keep an eye on the Seven Kings here. Because again, I had no idea that this was a very familiar team. Quavo, a very recognized player over here, hanging out in the farm building, kind of hanging, watching the rest of the squads kind of get forced in right now. So they're in a good spot to pick up some kills. It looks like AFI has kind of crashed close by, but I see that you're kind of taking a look at that MG versus AE battle. So a lot to keep an eye on here as things start to heat up in the buildings and on the hillside.
Yeah, great point, Sento. You know, there's so many things going on, Sento. I just finished the EU event and totally missed that it was the Formula K7, previously K7 team there with Quavo hanging out at Milta. So we'll definitely have to track them. Very interesting, kind of funny. They flipped all their names, it looks like there, or at least some of them. And AE's in an interesting spot because TXC's behind them, MG's in front of them, CK's below them, so they're going to be in a really tough spot here to battle out. Main Game is actually in a great spot on this edge here. They're picking up some other kills. I kind of want to tap into their perspective because they're also getting some third-party kills right now.
Yeah, they had to keep an eye on AE. Ernster was doing that for a bit, and then he decided to retract with the rest of the squad here. As you can see, long-range kills being picked up by several teams here as the hillside is slowly getting forced down into this farm field. There's several teams again playing the edge on this north side of zone, and several teams hanging out in the Milta city right now, and it just keeps centering onto this farm field and on this hillside. It's just so brutal. The Seven Kings are going to be pretty happy with that rotation, as they're going to be the last building kind of in the cover of Milta, so they should be able to do a little bit of frag damage from this location. The thing is, Blitz, it's just one building, so being constricted into one building with all the different angles and a very competitive AFI that is eventually going to have to kind of push into you, it's going to be pretty tough for the Seven Kings. So we'll need to keep a close eye on this veteran squad and see how they perform in this tough situation.
I know we keep referencing it, but earlier today for people watching, we had Winner Circle, the EU squad, in this same situation, in this same building, and it ended up being mutual destruction. And again, even if you kind of win out, leaving this compound into this field is not good, but it's going to be really interesting to see such a good team and veteran team, see how they handle it, because we're basically watching a redo here. So we'll see how it goes. But again, the team that won last time with this circle was the team up top. That is TXC. So they're still in zone. There's still AE and MG up top here that are going to have to fight. Like I mentioned, it's going to kind of be a bloodbath on the bottom here, with people having to leave their locations to get into
things
circle.
are going to kick off here pretty soon with MG and AE. TK is going to have some shots on this, as is the Milta squads. But let's get on the battlefield down there, Blitz, and see what's going to happen between this MG squad and AE. It's a 3v4.
Here we go.
Out, Blitz.
Throwables coming in. T-Bug goes down from the acid burn. Nade, she's trying to move up here with the Scar 4 times. Same thing with FNX. Looks like they're actually trying to go for the revive, and I don't think they realize that acid burn is pushed so far up here. Gonna try to get a different angle because we got a lot of smoke coming in. The zones also here as well.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get that revive. DD didn't know what to do. Get some heal off or get the revive off. He's one shot in the smoke. He might be able to get the heal off here. And it's just a matter of when that third party from down low is going to play a factor. Ernster is hanging out in the smoke here. Going to play an absolute thorn in the side of this AE squad. If they don't know him, they're running right through the smoke.
Right past Ernster. They have to. They don't hear these footsteps. There's just so much chaos going on. Ernster's right here. The smoke is going to go away in a second. Ernster, so crazy how much we can see here, but obviously Ernster can't. Pulls out the AK, but it's not enough to get both. That's a tough weapon to kind of hit fire at that distance. Acid Burn's also down here, and the shots are coming in from behind, getting third-partied as well.
Unfortunate there. Ernster almost with a good play, but this smoke is going to start to dissipate here. Unfortunately for Main Gaming, they don't have an angle on this. So these guys are going to be able to get this revive off and then push down the hill. They're not able to push up towards it. And actually, CK Turbot with some great SLR spray picks up all of those kills.
Wow. And that was from down below. I'm surprised he had that angle. I want to also tap into Boat, who just caught FNX here from the top side. Now, Traxy there is going to try and peek, but Boat was just on fire with the AK 4 times. Didn't see the AK too much in the U squad, but we've already seen a few people rocking the AK today.
That's just a matter of time, Blitz, as well. I want to just bring your attention somewhere else. AFI is trying to figure out how they're going to push this Seven Kings team.
Yeah,
and
we
it's
need
going
to see
down.
this. It's happening. Molly on the roof.
Warhawk is down to the Molly. There is so many throwables going into this house. Smokes, Mollies, and nades. All of the above. Seven Kings, QRXZ, and Quavo are doing all they can. Quavo is outside now. He's
I was trying to see what Quavo was going to do. I'm sorry I'm switching around so much, but there's so many things. Hobie actually found Quavo, but not able to get any of the hipfire spray with the AUG there, so this is getting really messy. Omerta.
Yeah, it really is. And actually, Onyx from up the hill gets a boldy onto Quavo as he climbs over the fence here. So all of AFI is still up. They get the revive off onto Warhawk here. So these two are going to be able to play this house. And we just mentioned it. It's just absolute mutual destruction trying to fight and then come out of this area, because everyone to the north side of you can see you in these houses and in these fields as you move. So right now, the 2-man of Seven Kings holding the roof and the 4-man of AFI just battling it out here with all sorts of throwables and weird angles on each other here. And that's actually Warhawk going down to Ranger Jr. We were just talking about a nade on himself because he got knocked with it in his hand.
Yeah, he was cooking that nade, and then they're going to push up the stairs, take out 7K there, which again, this building seems so good, right? Because it's on the edge, but it's so hard to kind of defend here because it's so easy to get hit by those lethals, and AFI did a great job this time. All 4 members are up, a much better push than the previous EU version. And actually, Stenta, we're in our final 4, and all the North teams are so busy, they don't even have time to shoot down at AFI. Now is their time to kind of move up. I think they should probably get some more ground instead of shooting here and get a position to win.
This is really interesting. AFI long range helps clean up that TXC squad, and now it's really a battle versus a 3-man of console killers versus the 4-man AFI, who I have no idea how they made it out of there as a 4-man. But Omerta with the MK12 gets a headshot onto Pixel to start this off. It's only a solo on the side and for Torch that can really play a little bit of an X factor here, although Turbot has been working it all game here. He does get a knock onto enemy. However, He does find the angle onto Ranger Jr. there, who was going for the revive. So now it's just up to Turbot here. He's been having a heck of a first round here. He's already got 6 kill splits and 12 for the console killers, but it's just a full, 3-man now for AFI, trying to deal with 2 different solos.
Yeah, Zality and
Turbot is just going
Omerta
to
are
work.
on the push here. Omerta's got a big flank here.
They finally do find Turbot getting that revive on the pack, but he was absolutely going to work. And now it's just up to 1 member for Torch. It's Precision. He does pick up an extra kill onto that knock. So he's got a 2-on-1 here. We have to stay locked in here, Blitz. It is just a 2-on-1.
Yeah, but Precision is barely staying alive here at this tree, and it's not going to give them enough cover to fight off this spread from Omerta. He's so far to the left here, but he actually does good damage on Omerta. Double stun goes down.
Oh,
but Zality's able to finish it off.
Good try. That ridge was kind of deceptive. It looked like he might have had a little bit of cover there, but he can't find it. An impressive try to get a knock on the guy hanging out on the northeast side of the zone. But it's just too many nades and some good spray coming out of AFI. Affinity with the first win of the tournament, picking up 12 kills and the W. Torch, second place with 5 kills, and rounding out the top 3 in the first match of the evening is Console Killers with 13 kills.
Now, Sento, let's say hello to everybody. How's it going? Thank you guys for tuning in to day 1. This is the NA version. Sorry we had some audio issues. We'll get that fixed for game 2 for the game audio, but the action there was still so incredible, and everything has been going very well. We had a lot of action in the previous games. And Sento, one thing I want to mention about the end game there is I was really surprised that it was, I think, TXC, right, coming out of that building on the north side. I really thought they were just going to roll down that hill, but CK playing that rock and also getting shot from behind did really well. They're staying alive, even though they came in second or third, but they played that really, really well. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think my story of the first match is probably CK. We saw them, they lose Bazaar early on to AE on the north side over there past the woodyard up there. So then as a 3-man to get into that location and pick up 12 plus kills, I think kind of led by Turbot there, was very impressive shooting from him to pick up a lot of kills on people moving in throughout the edges. And he kind of saw how hard it was for them to take Turbot down there at the end. So we'll have to keep an eye on the console killers, because that was my team to watch from that first game for sure.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the rest of this pans out. Give us a second. We'll load up the next game. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got 4 more games tonight and a lot of action. So we'll see y'all real soon. BRB. All right, welcome everybody. This is day one of the NA versus EU showdown. And right now we have our list of console NA players in the tournament. Right now we have Group A versus Group B, so you can check out some of the teams that are playing tonight. We're moving on to game two, but I just wanted to revisit this page for some people that might have popped in for game two. We also have our regular season prizes for this regular part of the event, and then we'll move into the playoffs and the finals, where we have an additional $4,000, so $5,000 total dollars on the line for this event, which is absolutely amazing. And then we have our map list. We are on to game two on Erangel. Then we'll be heading to Miramar for game 3 and 4, and then back to Erangel for game 5. And here we are, Stento. Game 2 is on the way. We have our flight path for this game from Novo all the way to next to Severny, kind of to the east here. So we might see another Eastern Circle. We've already got 3 or 4 of them today between EU and NA now with that first one. So let's see where this one pops.
Yeah, we've been over here a lot. We've been south a lot. I'd like to see it head up towards Stalber, or somewhere towards that north side. We've been hanging out a lot in this Mill to Power area and a little bit in the swamp earlier, but let's take a look quickly at your map over towards Severny. 2 or 3 teams in that area. It looks like RMV are going to claim Severny. The Bloodhounds floating with a little bit of Torch, and the Lady Lasers. It looks like Torch is very split.
Yeah, what is Precision doing here? I'm confused by this.
Just kind of floating with the other squad. I don't know how much hang time he's got underneath him here, but perhaps knows a car in the area that he might land on or something. But yeah, got a lot of people in the area. He doesn't actually have an idea of what he's doing. I don't think he's landing in the wide open field.
So I think what might have happened here, Santos, the rest of Torch is kind of at an unnamed area here below shooting range. So they might have wanted to go to Severny, then went to shooting range and noticed that everything was taken. And I'm guessing they just wanted to have maybe a safe drop. So they got split up here with maybe some miscommunication, trying to figure out where to go. That's just my guess. But it seems likely because I don't think any team plans to land where Torch dropped there north of Rozak.
Yeah, and First Circle has popped, centered up on school, so we're dead center of the map for this. Gonna be interesting to see how the whole Dub Hub and 187Z thing works out over time here. They've dropped 2 into school for this time now to prevent that hard push from the 187Zs again. Albos is to the north, hanging out in mini Rozhawk. And of course, you can see Wabaku just down the road a little bit. So the Dub Hub in 187Zs, I think, is something we're going to have to keep an eye on throughout the day here on the Wrangel drops. And Shooter's Instinct is also in Rozhawk pretty close as well, Blitz. So everyone's got their drops right now, feeling each other out, and not much early game action to be spoken about yet.
No, for sure. We have on the bottom side here, south side, we have AFI and TXC are kind of surrounding Eno here at the ferry drop. So when Eno goes to rotate, they'll definitely be heard by somewhere. AFI are winners of our first game here. We'll see how aggressive they play. Previously, they were a team that liked to kind of play the edge and then make their way in. So we'll see if they're going to keep that play style. Like Stento mentioned earlier in the broadcast, there's been a lot of changes with rosters and kind of play styles, it seems like, recently. AFI, though, still has kind of a solid team over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
The team just crashed Wabaku here. This was K7. They came out of nowhere. I'm not sure where they were initially. They just crashed the sole member of Dub Hub. Sorry to interrupt you there, Stento. And,
no, absolutely. Unfortunate for Dub Hub, they're going to lose another member early on here just because of a 4-man crash. Not really something you can predict. And the 7 Kings are not a team you want to be hard crashing you with numbers. So unfortunate there for the Dub Hub. Yeah, it kind of happened really quickly, but I just wanted to let you know our scoreboard is updated for the first round. If we did want to take a quick peek for those who might have missed game 1, as you just mentioned, Affinity was the winners of the first game with I believe 12 kills, so they've got 22 points on the top of the leaderboard. A console killers with a big frag out round with 13 kills, hanging out just below them with 18 points, and Torch and Team Toxic with 11 and 10 points respectively, hanging out just below them.
Yeah, great first game for AFI and a lot of those teams there. really want to see another team make it into the mix here in the top. Looks like TLL on the north side, maybe on foot. 2 members getting kind of close to Torch. I'll pay attention to that. We also have a bunch of teams rotating. Center circle, there's a lot of compounds, small compounds to take. PI's taking one of the center ones here. That's a great spot to hold early on.
Yeah, and just looking at the map that you have up, something that stands out to me is Potato Hill is kind of wide open. That's a very popular spot for people to take. So I wonder if someone's going to move into that location from the south side of zone at some point here soon.
Absolutely. Usually people are getting, wow, Kitty, meow, interrupting myself with this great mini
that was
14
some great
shots.
spray, tons of blood with the mini shots there. Doesn't connect for a knock, however, but SI gonna just hang out on this hill for now, trying to see if they can pick up a knock onto the Dub Hub, who unfortunately, again, we just saw lost one member to the hard crash from Seven Kings. SI gonna kind of retract off this hill for now, perhaps prepare themselves for their next rotation.
Yeah, one thing we talked about a long time ago, I mean, this is a completely different squad, but the Dub Hub always previously had an issue keeping everybody up. I mean, I guess it's not really relative because it is such a different team now. The roster has completely changed, but that was one of their issues. And really, I don't know the need to kind of do that 3-1 drop on school. I feel like if you're going to 3-1 drop, a lot of people do that though, but if you're going to 3-1 drop, maybe go somewhere else or 2-2 that drop. I just feel like doing that at school, I feel like school's not a worthy hot drop in competitive play. The loot's not that great there anymore, and it's so easy to get pushed from the apartment buildings without seeing them in FPP, you know?
Yeah, it's difficult. These teams I think are still feeling out their drops, and as you said, this might be a new. I recognize a lot of these Dub Hub players, Albos, Brody, not only amazing players but veteran players. They've been playing for a while. And I'm trying to. Is that Wabaku just got killed? And Dilla. These are all veteran players. I'm not sure how much experience they have together, so maybe they're still working out their job. But unfortunately, you know, like a hard crash onto that one in phase 1 early is really just kind of unpredictable. So kind of just a little bit of bad luck. And you know, the 187Z full sending them to start the whole tournament was kind of insane too. But we are watching one of the toxic lady lasers here trade out some shots. We're hanging out just to the northwest of Rozhawk, and we've seen what Lex can do before. She seemed to be the heavy fragger for this TLL squad. So definitely the one to look out for on this squad. We know she's got the bolty in the hand often, and I feel like usually a barrel or a sevens gun right behind it. Usually we've seen her in the weeklies several times, be the one performing, I think, for this squad. So we'll keep an eye on Lex and the lady lasers as we kind of circle up towards our next phase here. Phase 2 is just going to be another 2 minutes as this first circle goes in, and starting to get a little bit crowded in the center of the map blitz with CK pushing into J compound and holding that Volcano Hill just to the east. We know the 187Cs are going to be in apartments as always. In phase 9 and RMV have kind of moved into that area just to the northeast of Potato Hill.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite compounds, Stento, Jay, and you really can split this pretty easily. Especially from Volcano Hill, it's pretty quick for them to get over here in a vehicle if Pixel sees people coming this way. But just a great compound to hold because you can normally tell when someone's pushing this spot. There's a lot of great sight lines here. And I was also...
they've got a great spot for sure.
Yeah, I was also going to say definitely a lull right now because this center zone just gives so many people places to hide out right now, right? Nobody really needs to move. It's going to be this next zone, and then... Obviously, we always see kind of a crazy firefight from, I feel like, team from minute 15 to 22 has kind of been the norm recently.
Yeah, I think we're in a little bit of a phase 1 lull here. So I do want to take the time to welcome everybody to the main gaming NA versus EU showdown. We debuted the event today at 3 p.m. with the EU section playing their first 5 matches. Tonight is NA, and we are in match 2 of 5 as well. So it's just been an awesome day debuting this event. $5,000 on the line here between the regular season and the finals. And as I've mentioned once or twice before, 24 teams in the North American section. 9 of them will be moving on to the finals to face 8 teams from the EU section. So lot will be determined here in the next 3 weeks. This regular season is going to be grueling for these players over the course of 30 matches, but it's all for the big prize to get into that finals and prove yourself that you belong to be there, right, Blitz?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not $1 million, but this is a great prize pool for PUBG Esports, and especially on console, especially compared to so many of the events out there. So this is really exciting, I feel like, for all the players. Plus, it just brings hype to the community and the event, and there's so many people that enjoy this, including the players and spectators and the community in general. So definitely something I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, myself as well. And Blitz and myself have been doing this for a number of years now, but we always want to open ourselves up to any sort of recommendation. So if you're in the chat, if something sounds off, you know, feel free to tell the moderator, feel free to shoot us a message. We're here to put the best show we can on for you guys, and we really are open to any sort of suggestions or ways we can improve the show. So thank you again for tuning in tonight. Don't be afraid to express those opinions, and it looks like a lot of teams, BH, TLL, and the Seven Kings, all moving their way through the center map towards Potato Hill, just to the north side of it. Gonna be interesting here. Crazy is gonna crash right onto the Seven Kings here, I think, Blitz.
Wow, this is gonna be a tough spot. And well said, Sento. I completely agree. If you guys have any criticisms, please let us know. Always trying to prove here. Destroya destroying Cerny right out of the vehicle there.
Yeah, they had no idea. Crazy was busy kind of parking the car in an advantageous position. And as the Cerny pulled up, Destroya was just already peeking that tree, about to pre-fire at Crazy, I would think, but quickly switched on to Cerny. The Seven Kings pushed up for a bunch of grenades, but decided they can't really hang out in the open here for too long. The third party starting to do some damage, so they might need to retract onto this little plateau they got just above the shacks. There's going to be a lot going on here, Blitz. I think the name of the game is to make sure you can keep 4 up, keep as many teammates up through all costs here, right?
Absolutely. And honestly, though, for TL, this is such a tough spot to be in this early on. I'd be like, I would never want to be at this little, I don't want to say compound, this little shack this early on. Such a tough place to fight out of, but they take out Warhawk.
Onto Warhawk.
Southern gets knocked, but now it's just down to Crazy, who doesn't have much health, and Seven Kings are swarming Crazy. And
unfortunate there for the Toxic Lady Lasers. Just it's such a tough place to pull up. They were there 2 seconds too late, or perhaps they're the team that's kind of crashing onto the Seven Kings, but it just didn't work out in their favor there. Destroya, Quavo, and the boys were just ready to shoot, but it is worthy to note that Crazy took down Warhawk, so one of the Seven Kings have been taken out by a good little 1v1 win by Crazy there. And in the meantime, I saw the 187Zs picking up some kills in the kill feed. I tapped over to their squad real quick. Blitz and the 187Z still hanging out in their famous apartments drop, and they do already have 4 kills on the kill board. Insane
is out of the building, pretty close to K7 here. Insane with the K9. Insane with a nice spray onto Destroya, and then immediately going for that thirst, because Destroya is not a player that you want to get back up into the game. We already see him with 4 kills. Destroya seemed like to take a break from PUBG. Last time I saw, he was selling his accounts. I mean, Destroya was a great player in the PUBG competitive scene.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. Unfortunately, there, the 187Zs, I'm loving their playstyle, Blitz. It doesn't really look like they're afraid to push on to anything. And you have to love a team that just is playing like they got nothing to lose, you know?
Absolutely, dude. Sento. So many times if we watch people be like, why not push this? You know, who cares who it is? Even if it is a great team, just push it. And 187 does not care. We've seen that in the weeklies. They will hot drop. They will come back for more.
Yeah, and they hold their apartments down on hot drops, just like you said. So a very entertaining team to watch with their leader Insane here, kind of IGLing the squad. I'm very familiar with him. He's a good friend of mine, an insane player, just true to his name, with the skills on the sticks here, and just he's got his team all on the apartment roofs overwatching, and he's just got full reign to kind of frag out on this edge here right now, doing all he can to find the last member of Seven Kings with a grenade or something. But for now, he's just gonna hang out kind of in this little bit of a cove here above these shacks.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Insane, but it definitely takes some cojones to go as a solo player against the 3-man of K7 there with a sniper, nonetheless. But it ended up working out. They got that knock in the flush, and I'm taking a look at the map here. SI, they're trying to rotate, taking some shots. They ended up crashing School Stento and taking out the dub hub. And then that thirst came in from K7 actually through a window. The flush came in. They could have maybe got the last member up, but again, the flush came in from K7 through a window in the school. They're going to take this little Alamo building here, which is actually pretty good in this zone. P9 and PI sitting very comfy in the center along with RMV. AFI making a rotation onto Potato Hill, so something to watch for here. We might see some action there soon.
Yeah, lots of teams are already comfortable, as you mentioned. P9 probably in the best spot right now. That compound is very hard to push with the walls. And they're 4 deep there. They've been there for a little bit. So very lucky to be there right now. And we'll see if they can pick up any kills. I'm going to tap into their perspective. They've got nothing yet. But again, P9 probably in the best situation here. PI, MG, several teams kind of just hunkered down in decent spots, kind of off center. And then there's a handful of teams on the edge of zone, both on the north side and on Potato Hill Blitz. I think this might be where we need to be. AFI is kind of poking around, trying to figure out if they can make this push onto the Bloodhounds here, who are only down to 2 players. It's Freight and Shadow. And I think that AFI kind of senses blood in the water here, knows this isn't a full 4-man, and they're pushing on. Omerta is really close, but Freight knocks enemy, so Omerta's got to make a play pretty quickly here.
Omerta's going to get Wood from the side there. Or is that Shadow? And Freight had a big knock and great shots on the Omerta, pushing him off. Freight hasn't even been hit yet. But it's not going to...
Oh my gosh,
Freight takes out Hobie
over there.
We got to tap in his perspective. I'm going to flip over to Freight. Finally gets caught out from Zalani there.
Wow. And 2 of the AFI members got taken down. They're going to get back to 3 strong here, but TXC is rolling up on the hill right as we speak now. Triple OG leading the Toxic Boys over this hill to try to get an angle onto this. I don't think Omerta has any idea that this is coming. OG has spotted him, but Omerta does see him real quickly with the barrel. Takes him down quick there, Blitz. Tremis is on a flank on the north side. He's found a tree. He's getting some peeks, but Omerta wisely relocates after the knock with a nice grenade to Thirst as well.
Really good movement.
Timing just slightly off here for TXC, but now we've got a 3-on-3. Boatman is arriving, hanging out with Tremis on the north side. Onyx has got an M249, kind of wrapping the south side. So it's a very interesting fight now. 3v3 as TXC kind of start to bend to the north side of them, getting a little bit more advantageous zone position, and kind of leaving Onyx behind. Boatman with the AUG in his hand drops Hobie from long range with that 4x. He's going to need to go prone. Wow, Omerta was the one who put Boat down. Onyx was there for the trade. So now it's just Zalodi, and he's a little bit further away. This is going to need to be a pickup situation. Unfortunately, Onyx with some good shots from Zalodi. He needs to get a heal off now. Did he do it? No.
And
Onyx
right
goes
now,
down the zone, and Zalodi and Tremis now. Kind of a 1v1. He's carrying his team on his back. He loved this feature in this game. He's got to pick him back up. He has to drop him, I think.
Wow, he's phase 4, so he just drops him and lets Tremi run in. I guess that was the right move. This is a pretty far zone. This wasn't too close to walk. And then 187 and RMV were right below here. RMV takes out Zalodi there. It might be the same fate for Tremi.
Yeah, he's on foot. I just don't think they've spotted him yet. Now I don't think that is the case. Oh.
Good trigger discipline there.
Good,
smart decision not to shoot.
Discipline. No need to be shooting here in this scenario. Tremis has got 4 first aids, 5 bandages. He's going to be able to play this for a little bit, but they know he's here. And he's got an ace, putting it to work. Almost gets a knock, but it's not going to be enough. This is an impossible task, Blitz.
Now that he's alerted them, it's out. I was going to say maybe just lay down. Dreams takes them out, and they're going to be able to move into the zone now. But I wonder if they have a vehicle here, because they're going to have to cross this street.
Seeing some kills pop off from Ernster with MG here in knocks onto RMV, continuing some knocks onto PI here.
Yeah, PI is just making it into the zone. I'm going to tap into them, Sento, because they might... I thought they were going to gatekeep RMV, but it looks like they're sending it maybe next to main gaming. I'm not sure what they're doing here.
Yeah, this is actually not going to be that good of a spot because of the RMV location. They've got such good angles from this west side hill down onto this that PI really has nowhere to go with main gaming on the west side and RMV, excuse me, wait, main gaming on the east side and RMV on the west side. So it's just, yes, almost an impossible situation here, and I think that the sooner main gaming realize this and push onto this to kind of get this team out of here, it's going to be very beneficial to them to do that sooner than later so that they can plan their next rotation.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. FNX is the closest player to it. PI's kind of playing out of cover there. That was a big peek. Victorious does take out Dreams. FNX now has finally eclipsed the hill. RMV is actually shooting from the back side there. I want to try to get over there as quickly as I can to see this.
It's just one player left for PI. It's Notorious.
Just Notorious.
A full four-man MG. He does take down Acid. They're going to be able to most likely get that revive there, and it's FNX who does pick up those kills. Ernster with a nice knock onto Wheeler, who was running across the road here.
Very nice.
Perhaps preventing a very aggressive push from RMV. Jumar has pushed up the hill, but now he's kind of second-guessing this push.
Yeah, immediately stopped Jumar. We just tuned into that shot, which was great to see. Sometimes those small plays, man, can make such a big difference, right? That could have been maybe MG getting hit with a nade, getting taken out, but that completely stops it. But guess what?
Shot, yeah.
AE is now on the other side, Sten, so they have 0 kills. You know they're hungry, maybe a little thirsty as well here. And they're pulling up slowly to the east of MG.
MG's going to elect to not go for any of these cars here, I don't think. And Tragsy opens things up with a knock. It's now Jumar and Wheeler down on the low side. Tragsy playing the edge of blue. He needs to find these other two players who are very close by.
Oh,
Tragsy pops over the top of just in time to kind of save Tragsy there.
He just ran out of ammo.
Wheeler on the low side.
They're able to finish it off, but now AE is coming from behind, so MG's got to get ready for a second fight. What's Ernster going to do here? Try to get some smokes out. Acid burns down. Not going to be enough time to go for this revive. Trying to get some defensive smokes.
Great push from AE here. They all have grenades in their hand. It's going to red zone onto MG here. You saw 4 nades pop up on your screen for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, it's down to just Tragsy, and the third parties are ringing out as well. He's going to need... Oh, he's on fire now.
Just got hit with that molly.
Util from AE, and they hadn't gotten anything yet, but they make main gaming into quick work there.
Wow, yeah, I mean, they came in at the perfect time. And just like that,
now
we talked about this.
A little bit of a hill to work with.
Yeah, we talked about this. As soon as you get to the 22-minute mark, everybody's gone. We had so many teams, and now we're down to 20 players, 22 minutes in. Again, this is game 2 out of 5 games for the NA versus EU Showdown. We had EU play earlier today, and now we're on to NA. And just day 1 here.
Yeah, I want to get back over to the 187Zs. It looks like there's some knocks, and they've got some smokes out over here. I just kind of scrolled over there myself, Blitz. And Insane is kind of trying to hold off a push from some of the members of Orange while the rest of his team gets a revive off. Insane is going to get taken down by OH. He was focused on the car. He didn't realize that OH had stayed back and let the rest of his team drive up.
Smart move.
However, trades do come out there. They get precision on the pull-up. I'm not sure if that was phase 9 or if that was the 187Zs, but now the nades are going to come out from Mistake. Is it going to be a good one? A little too far. Excuse me, Legend now trying to get a little bit of an angle as Torch just kind of hold the backside of the cars here.
Legend almost got a hit. Amazing spray from Wiz there. And the rest of OH, or Torch, excuse me, big plays. OH making a lot of them there.
Yeah, I love the play to send the two in the car and kind of hang back and cover. And clearly OH can use that DMR, the mini, picking up maybe 2 or 3 kills with it there. So Torch do get reduced down to 2 players, but they pick up some nice kills. And they've got some good zone to work with the location that Wiz is in. So hopefully OH can group back up with his teammate and they'll kind of work from that location.
AE on the move in this coupe. And yeah, Torch kind of in a tough spot though once the circle changes. AE, I've never seen someone pull up right at this spot before. Rained is down. P9 will probably be able to get some throwables over here. I think they're right out of view of WAG.
Yeah, this is it's basically their only option. It plateaus out a little bit here, and they can get safe from across the street. The question is, does the angle from the northeast that SI have play a factor onto this AE team? I think they're going to get the res, and the rest of the team is kind of holding back a little bit, not to get put into the same kind of crossfire that DD and Range are in. But unfortunately, Blurtsy from long range is going to take down T-Bug on the edge there. Watches is going to have to just kind of cut and run down the hill. Knocks are coming out all over the place onto this AE squad. They really just got the entire lobby focused on them. Watches is now the only one up as he kind of moves down the hill. He's going to ring out a couple of shots towards this SI squad, and he's putting them down weak, Blitz.
Yeah, kind of playing spoiler here for SI. Once Eliminator spots him, I think he might go down, but actually Eliminator's going to go down to the blue here. Lob Riot just made it in. I'm finally understanding what happened to AE here. So they had the 4 members and only a coop. So that's why they took that weird push and were trying to wait for their team on foot. But as you mentioned, everybody was just staring at them. And somehow Lobright is still up here with the barrel. Tries to make a move on CK Pixel, but Pixel takes him out. And now we have our final 3 teams. It's a 4v2 after they get Turbot up here. Torch still alive. I'm going to kind of zoom out here so we can take a look at this.
Yeah, one thing I haven't seen a lot of CK this round, but they secretly have 6 kills and they're 4 deep in the final 3 here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how P9 kind of works their way into zone. And CK would be wise to spread as wide as they can along this side of the road and get those angles. And they're doing just that. Blitz Pixel is going to take the south side. Ranger Jr. is considering crossing the road. Blitz, this might be a little premature.
Yeah, oh, it is premature. And no smoke, Stento.
Half the zone on the other side.
Yeah, Stento's absolutely right. I mean, when you have half the zone, you don't usually leave like that.
Yeah, I'll never understand that. I think he was going to try to get to like the outside of the wall over here or something, because I'm not exactly sure what else there would have been over there to take. Yeah, unfortunately, they had a lot of zone on the east side here, and that was a little premature of a play, I'm afraid. But TK is still 3 strong. We saw what they can do with 3 last game. But now a little bit of edge towards phase 9 as the only full 4-man here. But CK still got a really good spread on that other side of the road.
Yeah, I'm wondering now is Torch's only play for me right now, right, is to kind of sweep. I mean, how do they make a move here, Stento? They don't have a play. Because if they go to the right, they're going to get spotted by P9. They can't really cross the street. They could try a smoke wall either direction. But Stento, unless there's a spectating glitch, they're out of smokes. They have the vehicle. No, actually, one vehicle's blown up. That vehicle looks like it's okay. I just don't know how they're going to get out of this situation here.
It's going to come down to their shooting. Wiz just started things off with a knock, but right now they're still in zone. So I'm sure OH is calling out that we're going to hold in zone for right now. See exactly where phase 8 circles up. At that point, we'll know the dot for phase 9. And, you know, they actually have a little bit to work with here. WAG has been putting that bolty to work in the compound here. Bazaar's going to get knocked, but Pixel is right there for the res. It's going to be interesting to see how phase 9 handles this.
Nade coming in. Not going to make it. The second nade could potentially make it on a jump throw, but Bazaar's already moving back. Was not far enough there. Wiz with another knock.
Yeah, they are doing some great work from long range, mainly out of the DMRs of Wiz and OH, but is it going to be enough for them to find some sort of area in zone to play here? He's not using that knock as a time to move up, and here you go. More knocks are starting to break out onto P9 here, and that's going to be Pixel with the barrel dropping another member.
Yeah, look what Torch is doing right now. They're split. OH is going one way, Wiz is going the other way. Now CK's kind of focused to the left. I don't even know if Turbot sees. Oh, he does see OH is there. Almost goes down. Now the attention's back on OH. He unfortunately goes down, but this allowed Wiz to get up closer, Stento. Still going to be a tough task in front of him, though.
Yeah, very tough task, and it's really just a fight between CK on the other side of the road and P9 here.
Wiz
and
caught.
Wiz is going to play a massive factor. He gets a knock and a thirst.
Fingers jumped the wall and was trying to run through, and Wiz just popped up and zapped him. Blurtsy's down, so only 2 members up for P9, and Wiz is on it right now with his shots. And P9, Mutzio, if that's how you say his name, Mutzo, doesn't have a helmet right now. So he's got to watch out peeking. He's only got the Vector and I think a sniper. Blurtsy goes down to the zone. He might take an AR from him here. He does. Called it, got the M4. He knows he needs a little bit more firepower out of distance. But Pixel with a molly.
Mutato is going to go down to that molly. Wag going to go for the team thirst there.
Wow.
Maybe to take loot. He just needed loot and to figure some stuff out. Pixel has just been such a problem on this edge. He's going to use that damage as his time to push across. Wiz isn't able to get another knock onto the other team. So now it's CK with a 3-on-1 situation. And Pixel has been no nonsense all game. He pushes right in and handles business. 9 kills in the chicken dinner for CK here, Blitz.
Wow, unbelievable there, Stento. We said CK was kind of a team to watch. No one came out with like a 20 kill game, but a lot of teams kind of in that, 3 to 5 kill range or around 4 kills. And CK had that great dub. Well played by them to stick it out and with that kind of strange ending there. And then P9 in second with 4 kills, all coming from Mutzo, if that's how you say his name properly. And then Torch in third with 5 total kills. Let's bring it over to the other screen here so me and Stento kind of talk about that. Kind of an unpredicted ending there. I just didn't know what was going to happen. You don't know who's going to get attacked first in those kind of triangle zones. And there was so much chaos before that. It just kind of came down to where the zone was going, right, Stento? Like who kind of stayed alive, who was comfy in that compound.
Yeah, a really tough zone when it kind of circles onto that road like that. And there's only a certain number of compounds that work. That P9 compound, you can stay up on a couple of hills. Volcano Hill, the hill where Main Gaming and AE eventually fought and AE came off of. And then where SI came out of, we saw Lob Riot coming out of that walled compound down in the ditch where eventually CK gained control of the game. My only worry was I thought CK might have thrown the game when they lost 1, just sending across the road for no reason early on.
Yeah.
But Zone was kind enough to them, and Pixel was just putting down so much pressure from across the road onto both teams, mainly onto P9, who had both the focus from Torch and CK there. So best position in Zone all game. Doesn't really give you the opportunity to frag, and then very end you get kind of circled out. That's just an incredibly frustrating game for Phase 9. But CK is obviously the team to talk about after the first 2 games. They had a very strong game 1 where they fragged out as a 3-man, and then picking up a dub in game 2 is going to have them definitely on top of the leaderboard as we head over to Miramar here.
Yeah, absolutely. And great points there, Stento. We'll be right back. We're going to set up game 3. So stick around, and thank you guys for watching.
we have the ability to show the score?
All right, so we are back for. Excuse me one sec here. We are back for game 3 of our NA versus EU showdown. This is the NA side of things now. Game 3 on Miramar. Game 3 out of 5. We had a southern or vertical flight path kind of down from Torre all the way down here past Los Leones. That's why we're seeing so many of the teams here on kind of this eastern center side of the map. And it looks like we might have gotten a hot drop onto Picado here with
Oh, heck yeah.
7K and Eno.
Yeah, 7 Kings versus Eno. Very interesting setup right now. 7 Kings is pushing over from the arena. Quavo's kind of closer to the rest of the Eno team here on the roof, as you can see here, and Warhawks across the street. So I think Quavo's kind of in the most important position here for 7 Kings, especially if he can get back onto the roof of Casino. Might be the most advantageous position, but it looks like he needs a little bit more loot, so he's going to scurry through these buildings and grab what he can. Hopeful to see a little early game action here, Blitz.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also just want to welcome everybody in that might be popping in just for this game. So far, we've had 2 matches. The first round went to AFI and the second round to CK. Thank you for bearing with us. With just a few slight issues here as we still get everything up and running. Again, this is day 1. We're very happy to be here. A lot of behind the scenes work to get this stuff happening behind the scenes. So we're very excited to have a bunch of people watching and supporting what's going on here. Big shout out to Stento and people at Main Gaming for doing so much work behind the scenes. And hopefully we continue to give you guys a great product. And we'll be continuing to work on everything and hash out some of the details. You guys know how it is for streaming and PUBG. Not everything always goes to plan, but we're doing our best here. And so far, the players are playing great. A lot of good action. We're going to take a look. We're going to stay tuned here in Picado, but I also just want to make sure that we're not missing anything. Another center zone. So we got that center zone on Erangel, and then another center zone on Miramar here. Initial amazing spray from Destroy there. That was Iron Sight with the Scar Stento. I don't know if you caught that. That was pretty nasty from that distance.
You want to hear something funny, Blitz? Is I hear people talk about how they hate the Iron Sight on the Scar.
It's like the best
one. Of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Iron Sights. But I hear people that don't like that little circle hole, and I like it. It's a good thing to be aiming with, but yeah, Destroyer making it look easy there.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. So many people say like, "Oh, I like the AK iron sights." I'm like, you can't see the iron sights on the AK when you're shooting. The Scar is the only one that you can actually see. In the M4 is pretty good too.
You can
see a little bit of that.
Something through the Scar iron sights and shoot through it. So it's like, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Scar irons, but again, it's not necessarily that easy to beam someone across the compound here. Did they get the res across the street while we were chatting it out? It looks like they have. Eno is back to 4 strong. And it looks like Quavo and the rest of 7K are just getting all those power spot splits. They're getting the big reds. They've got the 5 stack. They're already over towards Hotel Motel. And QRXZ is now joining up kind of on the edge. So they almost have this team boxed in. It's so interesting to see how a team like 7K plays a hot drop like this, where there could almost be no method to the madness. And clearly they've got a strategy ready to deal with it.
Absolutely.
Basically, right now, whenever Eno decides to move, they're going to get lasered because there's nowhere to go.
I'm with you on that. They did a great job here kind of covering everything. And the little bit of an X factor is verbal here with the shotgun. If someone gets too close to him without knowing he's on the other side of the street, this could be like Q or Destroyer could get zapped by that shotgun. But I'm just surprised people would even want to land here. I mean, Picado's legendary, but it's also just such a camp fest that you have to have a lot of patience here to deal with this. And we're in Quavo's perspective here. He got a nice, good little damage on Fortier here.
Yeah, the nade almost takes him down. Puts him down to 57 health. The second one would have got him, but a smart relocation there from Fortier. Great.
Destroyer comes around from the side.
Continuing the scar work. Just some proactive work. Q has got the comms, has just spotted Verbal across the street. I don't know if you saw that, but
it was a big spot. It was a big spot. Yeah.
Yeah, he spotted him across the street. That was impressive. Nothing, no, not even shooting or anything. Just to look like clearly like zoomed in with the holo to locate that player there. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good spot because now they know that there's someone lurking on that side of the street, and they're going to probably assume here that everybody else is kind of in the casino building here.
God, I love a nice hot job. I'm seeing kills break out elsewhere. Is that AE? Did they lift on top of this mountain blitz?
Let's take a look. Pop up here. We saw a few teams do this. The airdrops seem to be more of a factor on Miramar in the EU games, and so far we're seeing this now in NA. But last time, the team had a second pickup to get off the mountain, so we'll see if AE has a similar strategy. If they're going to be
very interesting, because I think teams are very seriously considering not going up here unless they have a second airlift, as you said. I kind of just realized that when we watched one of the other teams earlier do that. I was like, what? They have no car. Like, what are they going to do? Like, obviously, if they have another one, they're not just going to some horrible spot with no plan, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, though, because if you have the parachute system, I wouldn't doubt if there's going to be some teams that go up there. But you're right that sometimes where you land, you find a lot of those pickups. And something that I wanted to mention, this is a little philosophical game theory, but there is a lot you could do with those pickups, right? There's a whole theory now. I don't know if you've used them a lot, where if one's already being used, you have to wait for 50 seconds. So when there's like
Blitz, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this fight is not done. 2 of the 7 kings have been knocked by the final 2 remaining members of Eno here. Quavo gets one of them, so now it's just up to Eno Max, who's got 30 health. Excuse me, Verbal is also up. So this is
wow.
Quavo gets the job done. He's gonna save this for his team big time. I don't know if Destroyer's gonna be able
Destroyer's
to
get knocked. Quick draw. Where are these shots coming in from? Sent all the way across the hill here. Quick draw just got tagged.
I don't.
Oh no, and quick draw goes down as well from AFI.
Yeah, the long range shots from AFI and from one of the members of AE. I believe that was Didi. So.
Wow.
Gosh, this happened really quick. Eno kind of leveled the stakes and made it a 2-on-2. But Quavo then won a nice little 1v2, as we've seen him do several times throughout his career. But the 7 Kings are reduced to just 2 players here. They do pick up 4 kills. So, gotta be interesting to keep an eye on what's happening in Picado as we jump into our next game. Is Eno or 7 Kings going to back off, or are we going to go round 2? I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out for sure. I'm liking now that we have 2 games on Miramar to see what people do a little bit, because previously we were only doing 1 for people listening in some of our weekly events. So now we get kind of 2 tries at this, so we can see how people react to some of the different strategies here. I feel like SI is definitely a team to watch, Sento. They seem like they are really good shooters, but I think they got caught out on a rotation earlier. We'll also wait to see if TXC gets into any action today. We might pop in and listen to some of their comms at one point or another. They're still on top of the hill here, kind of spying on CK.
They're in a really good spot. So if things heat up, that would be a great idea to get over and see what's going on with the Toxic Boys. We've hopped on board with them a couple times with comms back when some of them were for some Dub Hub, and always good comms, always competitive, and win a lot of their fights. So we'll try to tune into them if they get involved with something intense here, just so you can see, guys, how the top teams really do operate in some of these fights. But they've still got Ascension Esports kind of hanging out on this mountain. kind of limiting their ability to kind of reign free on their own mountain. So they're kind of hanging in the compound for now, as they've just got one person on the mountain. I think that is triple OG's hanging out on the rocks, but phase 2 is going to drastically pull to the west, a little bit southwest, pulling so many of these teams out of zone, and the entire zone on the Monte Nuevo side, power grid side, is just wide open for anyone to get in there.
What I love here is TXC's already on the bike, already dipping to the center zone. But this was a huge shift, as you said. Most of the teams are not in this circle here. All the teams Hacienda and to the east are going to have to rotate. We might see some teams clash, kind of trying to go north here on the rotation. Also, it's kind of hard to rotate around this terrain and San Martin. So a few things that teams have to kind of watch out for here. We might see P9 and BH get into it. There's already some initial shots coming in from Blurtsy and Mutso. And what I just wanted to say, Stento, is with this pickup, there's a lot of just crazy strategies that you could do. One thing I just want to mention is that if you were center, Stento, and you had 3 pickups, you could kind of keep using pickups randomly to block someone else from on the outside of zone using a pickup, right? I mean, that sounds crazy, but how many teams just go, oh, we don't have a vehicle, we'll just use this pickup. But then if some team center drops 3 consecutive pickups and they can't move, that team might die to zone. So there's some things that, you know, we might see, you know, a year down the road from now, teams might pick up some crazy strategies to kind of defend against that.
That's true. And I think it's probably going to be like, you know, 1 or 2 teams per round who almost put all of their eggs in the pickup basket at some point, you know? So blocking that at the right time, you know, could be some big kills.
Yeah, for sure. Just an interesting thought. I mean, we might not ever see it. It's just something that kind of popped in my brain. But we are seeing a team, speaking of the devil, use the pickup. This is
the lady
PI.
lasers are pulling up on, I think their male counterparts. Toxic lady lasers pulling up on Team Toxic here. I don't know if they have any idea that there's someone here. Southern has pulled up on the Tremis here. This is very interesting because it's only 2 members of TXC, so this could go wrong. The rest of the lady lasers have not pulled up. Unfortunate for Southern, kind of gets caught out there.
We're gonna tap into their audio right now. We'll go into TXC right now.
One. All right, there's just one.
Yo, in the middle of the open, right here, TJ, on green.
Yeah, seen. On the shack, boys.
Fighting,
you guys have nades or no? This kid's running away on the ping.
Attack him right here. He's knocked.
No. There's one on my ping.
I see your blue. He just looked at me and went back over the ridge.
He's on ping. New ping.
Is he running down or what?
Oh, he's just sitting in that ridge. Sitting in that dip. He can't move, bro.
All right, well, I'm gonna play from your side.
Yeah, that's fine. You and Trimmer should just go together, honestly.
Oh. I'm getting shot by some brothers.
I headed him. Literally headed right on
One of them just got
blue.
knocked over there.
Who the fuck was just shooting me?
I knew Blue-O, right in the dip. Nice.
Ernie's
One up,
dead.
yeah.
There are 1 man then.
That could have been
that's
the
a
first
one
I
wall
thought of
man?
you, Trimmer. Yeah, one man.
No, the smoke here next to the shit shack. That's where I got shot from. I definitely didn't get shot at by TLO. It was the
the other two cars
Torch?
pulled off from TLO.
All right, so we're back now. We were just popped in for a little bit there during that fight, which is actually a great time to catch it, but then they kind of had a little bit of a lull, but great audio coming in from TXC. They had a team below them there as well, which was really interesting. And yeah, just quick comms coming in from them. Really clear comms, letting everybody talk, which you always like to see. Now we're on SI here.
Let's take a quick look at your map. Power grid is wide open. So many teams are coming in on the south side of the map here. CK, I think Quavo just kind of lifted in. CK might be able to just stroll into power grid right now.
Unbelievable again.
Untouched.
CK,
This is our first place team.
winners of game 2. Ooh, DH losing a member on rotation here from Torch on the west side. RMV still stuck in the blue over here. We'll pay attention to that. I'm kind of watching what's going to happen to RMV. completely stuck here. It looks like they might try to get in a vehicle and take off. They have a motorcycle and a buggy. They're going to rotate around, so we'll...
They've got some time blitz. It's phase 3 right now with 90 seconds until the close starts, right? Blue isn't moving at all. So they've got like several minutes here.
Well, no, the blue is moving now. They have 30 seconds till, or a minute and 12 seconds till it closes.
Okay, yeah, there you go. It is moving. So they've got a minute until it closes here. And this is the important shift, because I think right now in phase 3 in the blue, it's just chunking by 1 HP. But as you get to phase 4, I'm pretty sure it shifts up to like 5 or something. So it gets pretty intense pretty quickly with that next shift from phase 3 to 4, and kind of makes it difficult to rotate in a vehicle or something at that point. So they're going to use the blue here in phase 3, and they're actually going to find some wide open zone actually on the west side of your map if you do kind of look in there. But lots of teams making their own rotation, as you were just watching. Main Gaming's kind of wrapping around the edge to Monte Nuevo. Gonna be a tough rotation for them as we kind of watch them sweep this side of zone to try to find something that works for them. It is going to be tough here because Torch is kind of just waiting for them on that like edge that it looks like they're going for here.
Yeah, and RMV, you know, ended up
one of the
completely
members of Torch
open over there.
So that is potentially going to open up a little bit of a door here for MG.
And they see Tick here going for the care package, and they're able to team shoot there and get that. But they stopped a little early because I think they didn't want the noise of the vehicle to pop up. But now they are taking some damage here pretty quickly.
Wiz with a great knock with the AUG onto Ernster. He's in the blue, but that might be a resable situation if he can keep crawling. Excuse me. What really kind of set this gatekeep back for Torch was a third party sniped one of the members up here on the hill. And then at the same time, MG with some nice shots onto Tick. I think both reses are going to happen onto Torch. And OH needs to hurry this push up. And then Tragsy drops one of the members. That was Wiz on the run going for the res. Tragsy with the headshot.
That is...
And now Main Gaming with a little bit of the upper hand here, working from the edge of zone. They've got 4 strong here, and they've got to go through OH and Precision here.
Definitely kind of a ballsy push from Wiz. I mean, I like the aggressive move. I thought Tick was actually going to... Torch was going to come out victorious here, but that was such a big knock to stop the push. Now they really need to move forward onto Precision to get up this hill, get some smokes out, and make their way up this path. OH is right to their left. I don't think FNX sees OH here to the left side. Shots come in from the left. FNX goes down quickly. Ernster spots OH, but also goes down.
Yeah, OH is very weak there. Asaburn is in the zone, so unfortunately now it's just down to Tragsy, who's going to get 1, but not going to be able to get 2. So Torch evening the stakes here with some good positioning by OH and a strong hold by Precision there. I don't think that this res is going to happen here.
Risky move even to go in there. Maybe just getting first aids. I'm not sure.
Maybe grab a bunch of first aids, but yeah, it was risky because he's got some ways to go. He's going to need to make sure he times that right. And zone is moving, so a great battle there from Torch. And Main Gaming on the edge of zone. Some pretty serious mutual destruction happening there. And in the meantime, a couple teams have moved into power grid. Actually, we got some parachuters going in.
Coming right into the top. We just caught that. And they're going to have a safe landing. CK was here, but they were able to take the other warehouse here, just like we're starting off the game. And it's looking like this is going to be a power grid finish, Stenta. You called it. It was open earlier, and CK got in there. Now PI's there. AE's on the outside with a few other teams as well.
Yeah, CK's IGL is doing a heck of a job today. They've been in amazing position for the 3rd straight game now, just holding the most dead center spot in phase 4 right now with hard cover on the edge of power grid. It's just such a power spot. But 12 teams are alive, 35 players, and we're almost down to 20 minutes here. So we might see it slow down for a little bit as a couple teams, mainly broken teams, are trying to work their way into some edges. We're seeing one of the 187Zs, excuse me, 2 of the 187Zs run away from some DH shots here. So Dubhub letting them fly here, and the Bloodhounds are going to pull up into this ridge for now. P9 is potentially trying to get an angle down the road on this, but the Dubhub on top really do have a commanding spot over this pull-up. Yeah, Brody's kind of leading the way down the hill.
Yeah, getting some throwables, some smart stunts here. But one of the members of Bloodhound got to his left side. He doesn't see him yet, but he's got Freight right in this smoke. Wabaku's here, though, to finish him off. Decisive kills there. And as Stento said, P9's thinking about pushing, but then Wabaku hitting some nice SKS shots, excuse me. And then a heady onto Wag.
Yeah, impressive shots out of Wabaku there, and then the nice slow single tap heady just to prove that it wasn't spam that was registering. Very nice. But
yeah.
On the other side, you can see RMV is pushed onto that P9 team as well, so they're dealing with some long range and now a more aggressive push from the Dub Hub.
Yeah, it's funny. You can spam your SKS or any weapon in the game, but a lot of times when you slow down and shoot, those are the shots you end up hitting, at least on console. And kind of showing it there. Dilla rocking the M24. We've seen some snipers here, a good mix. More minis in the EU, which I like to see. I feel like NA.
Yeah, I think we were seeing a little bit more minis in the EU.
Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot on PC as well because the players are so accurate there that they like to use the mini. When on console, I feel like people usually prefer to go 7.62 for most of their weapons.
Very interesting. We're seeing the Dub Hub get a little bit too close to phase 9 here.
Wabaku goes down. Dilla's down. It's just Brody left. They tried to do this push on the phase 9, as Stento said. Have one member down.
As timely as it should have been. They had a couple knocks, and someone else knocked some members of P9 as well, and they didn't push directly over there. So I'm curious what the hesitation was. But Brody is going to have to deal with Wag here, but Wag's been doing great all day with the Volty. He proves now he can use the AR as well, making the M4 work for him there, but unfortunately he lost the rest of his team. P9 does have 4 total kills, but it's just a one-man now, and we're centering up more and more onto Power Grid.
And RMV's right here to take out Wag. Actually, Brody got caught kind of trying to throw a nade and reloading there. The nade wasn't cooked enough, so it didn't really work out. And then all that work from phase 9 not going to really pay off because RMV comes down with the kills, and they have 7 kills. I think we missed some of the action there on the outskirts. They seem to be maybe one of the kill leaders so far of the match.
Yeah, and elsewhere on the southwest side of zone, Team Toxic took out the rest of Affinity. There was a 2-man Affinity kind of playing a ditch, and Toxic kind of ran through him on this side of zone. But now console killers have heard the noise. They've got the nades out, and they're already on the push. They've left Coma back on the brick building, and Turbot, Pixel, and Bazaar are kind of seeing what they can do about this Toxic team, which has a nice kind of dip, a little ravine type of ridge here to play with. But zone is not on their side here for Toxic, so they're going to have to figure out which path into zone they're going to take. CK came out to see what they could exactly get out of this, but it wasn't anything easy or clean, so they've cut back to center zone and regrouped as a 4-man.
Yeah, smart move. So many teams stay out there trying to gatekeep or make a play, but then another team just backfills.
I love that. Poking out, trying to get some kills. Nah, this wasn't as clean and easy as we wanted. Let's get back and lock it down. I love that type of stuff. It's trying to be aggressive, but it's being smart about it. So CK seems to be just making great decisions here, one after the other, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And that's ultimately what you want to, how you want your play style to be, is aggressive but smart. You know,
exactly.
Looking for the opportunities, but not overreaching, which is so hard to do though in PUBG, right? We've all been there.
Oh, I love being aggressive, but I don't have any sort of control with it, and so seeing that in a high stakes tournament here, where they know, they see a battle going down, they know what just happened, and they poke out with some nades, try and get some kills, but then realize like, all right, these guys are just on a ridge down there. Like, let's get back into center zone, back to Coma, and have the best spot in the game. And there's only 7 teams alive, 21 players here, Blitz. So CK's in a really good spot to win their 2nd game in a row and have a command on the leaderboard as we start day 1 of this event for NAA and just our 3rd match. And CK is gonna go 3 for 3 here so far on successful matches. Only 2 chicken dinners, but game 1 they came in like 2nd or 3rd with a ton of kills as well.
Yeah, sure. We're just in game 3 here. Down to the final 7 teams, 21 alive. A little bit of a lull here because when you're at Power Grid, you really don't want to move too early. Kind of wait and see where the circle goes. RMV and the teams that are kind of on the outskirts now, A&E, need to figure out their path here, right? You never love to be the team on the outskirts of Power Grid because you just don't know who's lurking out here and what the sight line is.
The Power Grid is a tough area to play. It can be advantageous to be in there, but there's also ridges kind of like on all sides of it, Blitz. So,
Yeah, true.
You know,
It's
the
like-
wrong,
yeah.
the wrong timing of something, it can really play against you. So it's interesting to see, you know, this PI team and Console Killers. They've got great locations, but they don't really. It's not an area where you can kind of just run around and frag out and stuff, you know. So they're kind of stuck to their building, stuck to their warehouse. And this is just one of those situations where time's gonna tell the tale here for us.
Yeah, Circle is about to pop.
I love that one of the Seven Kings is just in the truck, just hanging out.
Just hiding out on the west side, and the Circle's pretty close to him here.
Yeah, he might be end zone popping out of a truck here. It just depends if PI stumbles their way into that or not. But several 4-mans still alive, Blitz. RMV is a 4-man. CK 4-man. PI and AE, are they 4 deep over here? Yep. So again, several teams are still complete here.
Check out this
and a couple
rotation
solos mixed in.
from A&E. This is high energy rotating.
Yeah.
Smart play though, coming in slow and steady, wins the race sometimes. Let's see what they can make happen here. RMV also, I think, making their way in. The snake strategy worked though. RMV didn't see them moving across there.
Yeah. Unbelievable. They've all gotten into these crates now, which isn't quite into zone, but they don't have anyone in this next warehouse.
PI's in, no, PI's here. Oh no, PI's in the north warehouse, huh? So they're going to be able to take this southern warehouse. PI
TXC spotted these guys moving in, so now those sound cues might kind of give away the location of this new team.
I was just going to say that.
I bet PI is paying attention to this now just because of the shots that were ringing out and where you can tell they're landing. It looks like Nap Time and Molotov are kind of hanging out here, keeping an eye on the south side warehouse.
Tremmy with a
knock from
bolty
Tremmy,
across
yeah.
the way, but no one's going to be really able to push that. Everyone's kind of in their compounds. I guess eventually, seems like CK is going to lose their circle spot. Excuse me. I feel like this is going to keep centering up on itself. So I wonder if we're going to see like a center power grid finish.
I don't even know if I've ever seen a power grid finish in comp, at least not very often, because I can't really think of one off the top of my head. It usually pulls off to one of the sides.
It usually pulls off kind of where Torch is, Precision, right? Usually it heads this way and kind of pulls off to the west side or south side, and here it's still kind of in.
I'm just kind of staring on my screen like from above, and it's got like just super high in the air, and you can kind of just see all these players moving around. It's very interesting because two teams are in a warehouse. RMV's got like good eyes on the outside on all of this, but all of these teams now are kind of forced out of this side. So RMV's gonna have to force their way into one of these warehouses, and I think that's when we're going to see a third party from the other warehouse jump in, and I think it's going to go from 12 players down to 4 or less in a matter of seconds here.
I absolutely agree with you, and also I've only seen this circle one time, Sento. The only reason why I remember is because I included it in one of my highlight videos. We got a dub here in this kind of finish. It's the only time we saw Naptime go down. Will RMV go for a push here is the question. AE maybe getting ready to push on the other side. Naptime's going to go down. They're not going to be able to get that pickup. That was AE actually that got the knock, not RMV, excuse me. But RMV knows this is happening.
Yeah, things are going to unfold rather quickly here. RMV is just waiting for the right time to poke in. They're letting some smokes out to hopefully kind of draw some early nades and get some of that util out of PI, out of AE's hands here. But RMV seems to be really taking their time on the edge here, but it's multiple.
Oh, they're going to make their way in now, Sento. Dreams starting it off. Oh, wow. Notorious in that great spot on the hill, but then he gets a triple kill.
Do it, Notorious. Do it.
Wow, I thought the trade was about to happen and literally comes down with the insane triple kill. It's just
one
Wheeler.
more up. I thought the second player got a trade too, Blitz.
That's what I was like.
I
Oh, he
thought
got the trade.
second place RMB ran in there and got a trade. And now Wheeler doesn't really know what to do. There's an invincible man in the corner who just doesn't miss.
Oh, wow. And on the other side,
CK and TXC are going at it. It looks like Bazaar might bleed out here. Pixel and the boys are going to need to make something happen quickly. A smoke has gone out. Turbot wants to get this res off. He's going to be able to at least attempt it. It's going to need to be a good nade, but I'm going to tap into both, man.
Me too. I'm going to tap in. Let's see.
Angle.
Trying to just fire through the smoke. Didn't pick anything up. Going to move a little closer. Coma's now going to try to take over the edge. Turbot's up now. Got the revive off as well. Boom. Turbot comes down with the knock.
Big plays from Turbot out here to get the revive and then to get that knock onto boat. A little bit of a pan action here, and the timing was just
Triple
wrong
OG
for Boatman there.
Triple OG has the whole AE team right behind him. He smoked himself laying down on the ground like a wave just passing over him right now. And a random name for Coma gets him.
That's so nuts. And now we are down to our final 4 teams. It happened very quickly, but AE remaining as a 4-man, CK a 4-man, a solo in 7 Kings, and a 3-man for PI still alive. And the big fight is breaking out right in front of us now. DD with a knock, watches this knock. It's a 2v3 now, Blitz.
Turbot gets knocked. So many people getting knocked for CK right now. It's a 2v2. Also, so much to track here because so many people are still here. 7 Kings. QRX is still there at the truck.
Coma and Pixel are doing a heck of a job as a 2-man here to try to dig this out for Bazaar and Turbot. It's now just only 2 members up for AE as well. DD's got a shotgun back here, Blitz, so Pixel's got to be careful. He's gonna run into the wrong man here. I know I want DD to land this so bad. It's a little bit too long range. He's shooting the further away player. And now PI has gotten involved as well on the east side. DD doesn't exactly know which angle to take, who to push.
Left or right. It's a great shotgun, but it's not enough, Stento. And it's down to a 2v1. QRX from 7 Kings made it this whole time. And now Coma's down. And it's a 1v1 Stento out of nowhere.
The man popped out of the truck, Blitz, and going for the thirst actually makes him pay for that. So some impressive work to get the 7 Kings into the final 2 teams. But if he just resists the urge to thirst there, he's gonna have a much better chance at that 1v1. But CK, man, it seems like they can do no wrong. Almost Blitz 12 kills and the chicken dinner.
Unbelievable. I thought it was unfolding for them right there, but they ended up coming down with the dub. 7 Kings hanging out in that car, coming in second place with 8 total kills there, and then AE rounding out the top 3 with 5 kills of their own. And I have to say, sorry to everybody there. I kind of missed some of the endgame action. I mean, we were holding there, watching some great action between CK, TXC, AE, but then at the final end there was just so much death going on, swapping cameras. We kind of missed that final kill coming down, but we saw the thirst, or the attempted, well, I think he did get the thirst in, like you said, it kind of backfired. A lot of times, you know, you're like, why did I go for the thirst? But you don't want that information in that 1v1, right, to kind of hurt you from that teammate. So I think that's what he was doing, but it definitely backfired there.
Yeah, it was just kind of the timing of it. He looked around for the second kill. He was like ready for that challenge, and then the second he turned around to thirst, Pixel, I think it was Pixel that popped up and got the kill. But you know, that's definitely one of the main standouts from that round is that member QRXZ getting the 7 Kings, you know, into second place with 5 kills from that truck location. Just well timed, and really well executed by him to even be in that position there. But CK was on top of the leaderboard going into that game after 2 games, and now just probably adding to their total so far. So you know, it's gonna be uphill battle now for all these other teams chasing CK right now, but the main goal for most of these teams is get into top 9, get into the finals where the big money is, right? So we'll have to take a look at that leaderboard when we come back and see what is kind of shaping out, who is where. But for now, we'll get the next Miramar lobby set up, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Yep, GG's. Thank you, guys. All right, welcome everybody. We have game 4 for the NA versus EU showdown. This is the NA portion of the event. The EU portion we did a few hours ago just came to an end. Again, this is just day 1 of a multiple week event here for this league, and we do have a scoreboard available for the current NA day 1 leaderboards here. Finally got this to load correctly. Let's go. Shout out to T-Wire for this. Right now, this won't include the previous game because it just came to an end. But going into game 3, we had the Console Killers were in first place, followed by Affinity and Torch. So you guys can take a look at the current list right now. Some of the teams that are on the outside: 187Z, Phase 9, Ascension Esports, Toxic, Main Gaming, Shooters Instinct. All teams to look out for the remaining of tonight. And then, of course, this isn't the end today. It's just day 1 of a multiple week event. We'll make sure to kind of flood the interwebs with more information about the schedule and all that stuff so you guys can stay tuned throughout the event, and then definitely want to stick around for the playoffs and the finals because we do have a ton of money on the line, $5,000 in prizes over the next month. And here we have our flight path just going from the top right part of the map all the way to Los Higos here down on the bottom side. We'll see who we have in Picado this time. Just K7, 7 Kings, excuse me. No Eno, but we do see a hot drop. Eno decided to land in Hacienda instead, and we already have Fortier with a shotgun here at Hacienda.
Yeah, that's so interesting. You hot drop from Picado over to Hacienda. I love these Eno guys. We'll have to see what they can do. They do have Main Gaming along with them here. It looks like Tragsy's already on the roof, which is going to be a real pain for this squad to try to deal with. He's not too equipped though. He's only got 15 bullets in that gun. And he's going to need a little bit of help from the rest of the squad here. All of Eno seems to kind of be in the main mansion. Ernster and the rest of the squad, Acid Burn, should be pulling up here shortly. So we should see a little bit of an early game scrap here, but who's going to drop this? What is the question? Eno Max takes down FNX with the AK inside.
Gets Max with then the return shotgun from Ernster with the trade. A lot of close range weaponry here. We're seeing shotguns, micro Uzis. Ernster with a quick flush.
Really good angle from Ernster to keep that save there. Unfortunately, Traxy goes down to the ace.
Yeah, Verbal there had a great spot on the roof. Ernster clutching up with the shotgun. Takes out 40 here, but now the double push here.
For a little bit of a reload there or something now. The timing is not going to work out here, so it's just 2 left up for Eno. But Acid Burn needs to get over there a little bit sooner. She did try to land some shots there, but wasn't able to get a knock. Gonna try a grenade this time.
The nade. The building, but I think they're going to be able to dodge that. She can maybe wrap around to the right here and sneak a nade in from this angle. Interesting that Main Gaming went for this aggressive of a play in game 4, Stento. And then, oh no! From the side.
Third party.
Didn't
RMV
even see
heard it from the north side. Acid Burn had no idea it was there. And it was just a really good stack. Ernster was really playing a problem for these guys. He got a knock and a third, and then a second knock, but the other 2 members of Eno flooded in there aggressively. And they're going to pick up 3 kills onto Main Gaming. One of those kills is going to go off to RMV, who is now pushing onto this as a 4-man. They know who's here. They know how many is here, and RMV wants these kills every time, Blitz.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, not surprised, but a lot of aggression in this match so far. In game 4, RMV looking to, like you said, to get some more kills. Hacienda isn't the worst place to push into because it's small enough to kind of understand where people are going to be. Now you just need to watch out for, is there going to be somebody on the roof? Dreams is already up here. Going to kind of stay in his perspective.
I think we're gonna see a little bit of time unfold here before this really pops off. No, oh gosh, a good burst of the gas can there, almost actually catches members of Eno on fire. Brands is gonna go down to Verbal. Oh my god, they shot each other, and the 48 takes down Dreams. So this is collapsing pretty quickly for RMV, who I thought were gonna kind of roll in here and just steamroll these guys, honestly.
Same. I mean, everyone's taking a risk, though, when you get in these close-range combats in PUBG.
Yeah, so now quickly, Eno has the 3-on-2 upper hand over RMV. And now it's kind of just like RMV's got to lock in here and try and get some points, because what should have been a situation where they kept 4 deep, now it's turned into just Jumar and Wheeler trying to get whatever points they can. Wheeler is on the roof. He does get a knock and thirst onto Fortier.
DBS, we just missed it. And now it's just Lanane with the barrel. So much destruction. They hit 6 kills though, Stento. And
oh gosh,
the peek there over the shoulder in first person.
The soft aim over the shoulder peek landed some clean headshots on the guy in the bathroom, and then you only had 7 in the clip. I'm not sure if you caught that there, but
I didn't know.
You only had 7 in the clip there as that last player pushed in, and it was enough to get the clean knock. So, well, you know what could arguably be pointless hot drop is now 7 points for this squad. Eno picked up 7 kill points. You know, they are just down to 1 player, but, you know, this is not that big of a throwaway for them now. They were able to wipe all of RMB and held strong. And now PI is close by as well, just seeing what's going on.
Yeah, definitely tough for RMV. They tried to get that third-party cleanup, and it just didn't work out for them. And, yeah, that was I mean, the barrel is, you know, strong enough to get those kills with 7 bullets, but that was a crazy play to finish that off. And here we're looking at the map. The circle is pretty far south. I don't know if we ever tuned into where the map actually was, so apologies for that.
Yeah,
Pretty far south.
The hot drops happened so much that we were just locked in. But yeah, phase 1 is clearly a southern circle. Chumacera and Los Leones both very heavily involved, and teams are starting to push to the center. It looks like Seven Kings are in a good spot here, and I think they've got someone landing on them, Blitz.
Yeah, they just spotted it. I'm in Quavo's perspective. Quavo here. Got the Aga. I think we're going to see some shots come down. Some blood onto one of the members. Not enough, though. They have the Murados out. Thought they were going to maybe get ready to push that, but it looks like they might just be looking for a better spot here. Doing a 2-2 split. Another Team Stento, P9, parachuting in just to the southwest of that. And Blurtsy just actually landed on IREC here. And IREC is going to win with 1 health, Stento. And then gets the flush on Blurtsy. Can you imagine that, landing there and then losing to 1 health? And then they also lose fingers to the rest of BH that was on top of the hill. So we're seeing another kind of failed emergency pickup there for P9.
I feel like they're either wildly successful or they're just the most ultimate failures. There's no really in between with those things. You're either losing half your team or you're like dropping on a mountain and like winning the game. It always feels like it's either like big time hit or miss with those things. But I love the factor that it's brought into PUBG Esports.
Yeah, it seems like you need to commit. Sometimes when the teams get split up, it just becomes an immediate disaster. I think if they all land at that compound, then they probably win out or can trade, but they all kind of split up. They lose 2 members, and then it is a disaster here. And we just kind of pulled up on the Toxic Lady Lasers, at least Crazy's here, kind of scoping out this compound. I thought maybe we were going to see a push here, but it looks like TXC is leaving and Crazy's just collecting some information. I don't think we're going to see some shots here. Maybe now as they clips the hill. Actually, Tremi stopped moving. Crazy was kind of trying to load up a heady there. Are we gonna see this?
I love the patience, making sure that when she pulls the trigger, she's gonna get a knock. Tremis hasn't really steadied up too much. He was scoping in on a few things. They seem interested in something, but Crazy again is gathering a lot of information for the Lady Lasers here, and they do have an opportunity to catch TXC off guard here. Just a matter of when they choose to attack. I think Tremis has noticed some of Crazy's teammates now. He is pushing aggressively back down, perhaps to get a different angle. Crazy's going to need to be careful because Boatman does have the high side with the bolty, and we know he can use that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you might wonder why people are so, passive in those moments, but once you start shooting, I mean, you really, it's like a bomb goes off and a big fight happens, and TL is not in this zone. TXC kind of has the better spot there, so I like that they were waiting. I would have liked to almost see TLL, maybe the rest of TL, maybe make an interesting move and wrap around to get ready for that fight. But in any case, they live to die another day or come out victorious.
I don't even know. I thought Tremis saw some of the Lady Lasers, and maybe he did, because it looked like he saw not Crazy, who was close, but the rest of them far away, or someone else. But they've gotten back into their car. And they're going to go regroup with the rest of their team who rotated pretty far away at this point, just grabbing some center zone. Was Triple OG and Onyx grabbing a very good location, actually. But if you do take a look at your map, everyone, the island on the south side is still involved. They're watching the Dub Hub kind of flank all the way around using the island highways. And another thing pointing up on your map, it's so far to the north, but Torch is rotating out of Pozo right now. So some kind of crazy late rotations happening. Torch a veteran squad, just making sure that they're fully equipped for the end game here with such a crazy south circle. We'll likely see them playing a more of an edge situation for this round.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if they were looking for a pickup and couldn't find it, Stento, or if they got denied. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they just cancel all of a sudden, or if you do it at the same time as somebody else, you could kind of just cancel yours out. So I wonder if that's an effect of that. And also PI's up there as well, just in front of them outside of Monte Nuevo.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder what the timing is going to be of PI making this turn and Wiz making this turn. It's very likely that they collide, but getting a little bit more crowded in the center zone. I think we're seeing another airlift go down. That's going to be Ascension Esports mid-air, perhaps trying to land on this Bloodhound squad. It actually looks like they're taking the low side of the hill. Yeah, they're going to take this compound over here, and they're actually going to be very comfortable in the zone there. That's a decent spot. They just main threat is up the hill, Blitz. That BH squad is in such a power spot.
Yeah, they are, but where AE got is good because they can also kind of bridge block Dub Hub across the way there, which is not bad. And I was wondering what K7 was doing. They were still at Church Center, but they also took an E pickup. So now they are dropping right above BH again here. BH Merta spotted it early, so let's see how this goes. K7 might end up landing on AE here. I think that's what we're going to see. Muerte's coming down with some initial... I thought he was going to get some shots off. No one's shooting yet. They just let K7 land. The shots never came through.
Yeah.
Now they came through from A&E. Q and Warhawk, their jump was a little off there. They landed early.
Destroyer might be able to make a save here, but this is a dangerous play.
He tried to get that pickup, and now he has to back off, and it's just Quavo and Destroyer left. Another kind of failed thing there. I think they were debating where to land, and then
I can't believe these things. It's so unbelievable how devastating they can be for your whole round, and you just kind of wonder sometimes, like, you know, you're out of zone in phase 2 or out of zone in phase 3, like getting in a couple cars or airlift. Like airlift seems to be a much more risky type of rotation. I think we're slowly beginning to see more and more deaths happen to at least, you know, 1 or 2 members of a team while making that rotation. But center zone, we're seeing a package drop right now. I think BH is going to get this. It's a P90 for IREC. So we'll keep an eye on that man with a nice little gun situation there.
Well, I see on the left side, TLL again is very close to TXC. They've just been hanging out here. It looks like, oh, they already took out 2 members of TLL. Missed that in the kill feed. So this could be sort of a passive situation. I thought we were going to see some fighting. So if not, we might pass here. Torch going for a crazy rotation still, Sendo. They've been in the blue for a couple minutes now, it seems, and they're all the way at the bottom of the map trying to sneak in behind the Dub Hub.
Wow, I didn't even notice that Torch was all the way over there. Dub Hub's gonna have a nice kind of rotation up the bridge. I think they're gonna be able to get to the north side of the bridge. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the case for this Torch squad. They're really taking their time, hanging out in blue. We've seen them move all the way down from El Pozo, so they've been in blue like more than half of the game, probably. Yeah, probably more than that.
What's interesting here is that PI split up, so half of PI is on the beach, the other half is actually going the same way that Torch went right now. And Torch is still taking their good old time. They're like still hanging out in the blue. Only OH is across the bridge. We might see Torch, Tick, and Wiz run into PI here. I think we're going to, Stento. They're flying in this Marauder right now. Notorious has no health, only 30 health in his bandaging. The driver right now at 59 health. I'm in their perspective, first person crossing the bridge. Oh, he saw them and killed the engine, Sento.
Interesting. And this is just half of the squad. The other half is
on the beach across the way.
Yeah, so they're really just trying to get into the water and maybe swim over to their team.
Interesting play. Torch still playing on the outside of this zone. They killed their cars and got out as well. Something that teams really try to prioritize. I mean, any good team doesn't want to be heard.
Blitz. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, I'm still in that PI perspective here. They took the right route off of that most recent bridge, and it's directly the same thing that Torch just did.
They're just copying Torch's footsteps, and they have the Marauder ripping loud. They have no health. They're gonna get out and just get ripped here from Torch.
Yeah. they really needed to kind of just dive that car into the water and try to swim to their team. But unfortunately, like, I think they were trying to play it even more safe, you know, like, why the heck is there going to be a full 4-man torch over here? But they just made that rotation. So unfortunate for PI there. I think they're just going to be kind of like dumbfounded at what just happened. Like, why are they here? This isn't even in zone.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what stuff is? Torch is going to be stuck now because now they had to make noise. Dubhub knows they're here. They don't have a vehicle. Now they have to deal with this. They have 13 seconds till the zone's going to start moving. They're probably just going to end up ruining Dubhub's
They
game.
got one of the Dubhub.
They got Dilla. They tried to do an emergency pickup and they got Dilla off the pickup. I feel like, I guess that makes sense because of where the zone went, but risky place to put that pickup down.
Yeah, Dubhub did get 3 into the sky here. I wonder where they're going to land.
And they left all these vehicles for Torch, so now they do have a way to get across. And Dubhub's trying to land underneath BH here. If they can get down and lay down, they'll be okay, but they're going to have to kind of turtle here for a while.
Yeah,
hide out.
honestly, a decent spot to decide to land on because basically everything else was taken. And I think they are. If you kind of get down there, have a little bit of cover. Yes, Blitz.
We got a minute, but CK is right gatekeeping SI right now. Excuse me. I have to clear my throat there. CK is holding out SI. This could be a pretty good fight on the east side.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long day of casting here, but just some really impressive plays coming out of both NA and EU today. I'm very excited to see what SI can do versus CK here. CK is our first place team after 3 matches. They've won 2 of our first 3 games, and they've really just been firing on all cylinders. They've been in the right situation, and even in the game they didn't win, they had like 13-14 kills in like a second or third. So they've really just been the most consistent story team to talk about here today. And right now they're in a very interesting fight with SI. And if you take a look on your mini map, they're having a little bit of company here. The 187Zs, never shying away from a little action, are about to play a little bit of a third party situation on this.
Yeah, and Panda about to move forward with an ump. This could be great close range. We don't think we've seen ump yet in the tournament play today. First shots come down, hip fire comes through, leg shots onto Coma, and SI takes the warehouse. They lost 1, and now 187 is going to try to come through and clean house. If they don't, they're definitely mistaken here because now is the time.
Yeah, their timing is really good, and it was actually a third party that took down one of the members of SI there. The other 2 clean wiped CK.
Wow.
Mainly by that ump in the hands of Panda, and now Eliminator's down. It's just Panda with that ump, making a very interesting flank though onto the 187Zs.
Swag catches him. The ump wins out versus Swag, and the immediate thirst. Savage trying to pay back.
Oh my god.
The double kill from
That is
Panda.
the most ridiculous thing. The ump is just silly. You can just kind of hip fire it at someone who's close. Oh, I can't believe that was able to take down almost 2 of the 187Zs. They're going to get is the second member. Did they lose Insane there? I didn't see exactly
Insane.
who
They got
lost.
the flush from the ump, the knock flush on Insane. Now they're gonna get Savage up.
There.
You know, sometimes Miramar is not a bad map to run an SMG DMR because a lot of your fights are either super long range or super, close when you're crashing a compound.
Never forget the great Jake, the professor, used to always run a Vector on Miramar.
Yeah, I was a big fan of running that too. Vector kind of mini situation going on there. And we got Torch here that also has to move in from the zone phase 5. AE barely in, so they're going to try to hold here and gatekeep. We'll tap into their perspective. I feel like we've seen them a lot, but I haven't been watching them in their perspective. So we'll take a look at AE going to get a nade towards this vehicle.
Yeah, so this has been a crazy round. AE is watching this Torch squad that we were kind of watching their rotation all the way from El Pozo down onto the islands. And then they found a team behind them while they're on the islands, and the Dub Hub flew away from them. So the Torch was able kind of to drive in and walk in over the bridge late. And it's actually going to work out for them here. They're going to be able to, barring some really good long range shots here. OH has also picked up a Groza on this side of the map, so Torch is able to almost get into here. And OH stops dead in the road as he's getting shot at and sits DD down with the Groza. Unfortunately, the long range from Brody does take OH down. He should be safe here for a res if Wiz can get around to the rock face. Kind of taking an angle. I think Brody up on the high left side is not going to be able to get this thirst. So OH going to be able to get up here. And Precision's trying to move up and around this edge. Right now, it's a very interesting flank. And again, there was a knock up here. They haven't gotten DD up yet. That revive just happened, Blitz.
Yeah, Precision trying to go slow so his footsteps weren't popping up, but now sending it. Did the door open? Zone still in his way here. Just needs to move in a little bit more. Good movement from Precision, but just doesn't pay off there. DD able to get the kill.
Yeah, he wasn't convinced if he should ADS or hip fire, and there was a lot of smoke on the battlefield, so he didn't exactly know what he was looking at through the smoke there. But watches with the M249 and the rest of AE are going to hold strong here versus this Torch squad. They're going to get back up to 4 strong. And again, we haven't seen a lot of them today, but we have watched them do some pretty awesome plays, and they found their way to some end games. So watches DD and the rest of Ascension Esports here has 4 kills, and they found their way into the top 7 teams here. Just 19 players alive as we pass the 23-minute mark.
Yeah, and it looks like the Bloodhound gang might have got eliminated here, potentially from TXC. They've 8 kills, and now they kind of are holding the top. Or there's one member of BH left.
Yeah, that's going to be IREC on top of the hill. I think he's got a P90 or something in his hand, but he's wrapping towards the backside of AFI, so he's going to meet a full 4-man over there. But taking a look right now at Team Toxic, they've got 8 kills right now. Excuse me, 9 kills, 10 kills. Pay attention to the kill feed, Stento, because it is happening underneath your nose here. They're going to remove the Dub Hub in 7th place. And as we just mentioned, 10 kills early on here for Toxic before this round is closing up is a very impressive start to a game.
Yeah, absolutely here. Thinking now might be a good time to kind of listen in some of the comms from TXC. So we're going to hop in there for just a second. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna die.
Prem's got at least 3 down there with him, I think.
Well, you can get this right ridge if it's
on that
any
next
good.
ridge. Just
I'm dead.
stay up.
I just don't know how the LOS is
I'm
from
good.
top
I'm
to
good. I just have no fucking
You
helmet,
can play that
bro.
right,
So
and I'm kind of.
Are you exposed from my blue?
he's running back
I don't
down.
know. I'm just asking.
I'll be
They killed.
exposed
Yeah,
from
they
this.
wiped BH.
I'll be.
Knocked
Oh,
one down
stay
on
up
green.
here because AFI is gonna push.
Knocked
now.
one on green.
Yeah, knocked one on green. Yes.
I'm playing like the compound push.
Well, I have to play this backwards with you because that
He's
right, my
resin.
orange can see that.
He's shit on, bro. There's one right here. He might be trying to res there.
Behind is shooting me. Bolted.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
come. Nice.
Oh, he's once in the little baby bowl.
Down.
He's going for an
Playing low
instant
right
pick, I'm
now.
pretty sure.
I have 2 nades, bro. I'm just gonna eat them.
Take it. I'm just try. He's gonna peek here in a second to try to get the flush.
Just worry about close for you now. Don't worry about anything.
All
long.
dead.
What the fuck?
Travis, are you gettable?
Stento, what did we think about that squad wipe there? Not squad wipe, but the flush with the nade.
He just wiped him with a nade, dude. I don't know exactly how many were actually flushes or not, but some crazy nades off the arm cannon of Boatman. They're gonna pay off for TXC here again, having just an insane round. They have 13 kills between the squad, which is now just 2 of them, and revive is happening up top. So Boatman's kind of like lost in the sauce down here alone with 7 kings on the top of them.
I love tapping in, and there was just a really quick peek or sneak peek into the comms and play of TXC, and that was just a perfect time to catch that situation there. For Stento, Stento wasn't able to hear that as we tuned in, but Tremi there had mentioned that he was going for that push, that it might not go well, but he thought they were right there. He found them and got the double knock there, got the knock, and there was 2 knocks, and then, led to the nade. So just really good comms and decision making there to go for that. No one getting frustrated on the play or bad rotation. They all know kind of their responsibilities there, which you like to see.
Yeah, and now we've got just a heck of a final zone. If you do take a look at your map, there's only one compound really in zone, and the 2-man of 7 Kings are kind of holding it down. We're about to see a fight break out on the north side of zone between AFI and the 187Zs. But that is basically probably the most important thing that we need to be checking out right now. And Zaloti putting the MK auto to work.
Wow, on
Destroyer was
Destroyer
trying
there.
to kind of play a little bit of a third party from the south side. And Zaloti said, not so fast, son. I'm going to need you to stop doing that. We're about to fight the 187Zs over here. 6x on that MK is definitely the best scope. I learned that recently.
Dude, what's crazy here is that the 7 Kings landed here, lost 2 players, and now the circle ended up ending on their spot. I don't even know if that's where they originally wanted to go. And we saw that happen game 3 on Miramar. One of the members left of the 7 Kings, the zone ended up finishing where he was hiding, and then he ended up coming in second place there. So just unbelievable luck for them today with the circle.
So Blitz back on the south side of zone. That knock from Zaloti got finished off by TXC. They pushed onto the compound and naded it. So now it's just Quavo holding this compound. As a 4-man AFI pushes down, Quavo's going to get a knock onto Omerta. He's hanging on inside the house. That might be a good perspective to get into. He's hanging on to this house alone as a full 4-man rushes in here, and he's already got 1 knock. The confirmation is going to come out from Boatman, so he's going to need to back up into this mattress room and get a little bit of a heal off. He's got a shoddy. The sawed off is in his head
Whoa!
here. 2 taps Zaloti.
Wasn't enough though. And now he's going to try to hop out the window to save face. Just absolute chaos here.
Oh my
Eventually
gosh,
goes down to Boat.
just such a handful to deal with that man, Quavo. Taking 2 members of AFI down, but it's actually Boatman who takes him down in the long run, who is having an impressive round himself. 9 kills at the hand of the Boatman right now, and you know this guy wants more. When he gets a little bit of taste of greatness, he wants to make it something even better. I know this man. He wants more than 9 kills right now. He is not satisfied.
Doing 16 total kills for the team right now. And you're absolutely right. Bo's one of those players that hyper aggressive, wants to go for a lot of extra kills, and they could definitely use it right now for day 1 here for NA with 1 game remaining.
Been a little bit of a hot and cold for TXC so far today, but truly finding their groove in this round with 16 kills already, and it's a 3v3 here that we've got here, and just an awesome dynamic to an ending with this compound still being involved. The 187Z is trying to find their way up here, but it's Onyx with the AUG in his hand that's going to take down one of the members for the 187Zs. It's up to Mistake and Savage to make something happen quick here. Mistake is playing the role of watching overhead while Savage gets this revive, so really good teamwork from the 187Zs as they kind of have full attention from both AFI and Team Toxic looking this way, but trades are going out. Savage does get a knock onto Zaloti. Mistake got a knock onto Triple OG, so the 187Zs are fighting 2 fights here at the same time. It's going to be up to Legends to get on his feet and make something happen here as knocks are crawling back to both their teams. There's knocks on every team here, Blitz.
Absolutely crazy. You're right. Legend got stuck between both teams there. Terrible situation to be in, but they're in this little bit of a dip, so they're going for another revive. The smoke's really helping out a lot, and because TXC's also going for the revive, they're both
teams are getting a revive.
Yeah, every team's doing a great point there. AFI sneaking one as well.
Completed and back to a 2-man for the 187Zs. The other 2 teams are back to 3-man. So this is phase 9, Blitz. We know where the center is going to be, and AFI kind of have control of that right now, while TXC and 187Zs kind of finish off this skirmish on the south edge of zone. It's going to be very interesting to see if AFI decide to leave this situation and push out onto Toxic, because if Toxic cleans up the 187Zs quickly here, we're going to have a really clean 3v3 here. Bowman is in the smoke looking
Just
for the
went
last
past.
kill. He found him.
Finally catches them in the smoke, and like Sento said, this is going to be a clean 3v3. The thing here, though, is that AFI has 2 crate weapons, and they might have some pretty good armor here. Yet Zaloti has a level 3 helmet.
This man, Boatman, has 11
So does enemy.
kills.
So a couple, 2 level 3 helmets here for AFI. They're out of
11
throwables
kills at
pretty
the hand
much.
of Boatman. Can we please get into Boatman's perspective for the end here?
We're going to watch Boat 11 kills with the barrel. Gets
Boatman.
OV down. Take it to 12. Trade coming in. Onyx goes down. Triple OG goes down. Now it's going to be
He's
2v1
stunned.
with Boat. Last one left. And he actually just tries to get the point, and it doesn't work out. AFI.
That's the second time Blitz on Miramar. We saw someone who was kind of trying to fight the last fight and then decided for a second, let me get this thirst, and then find the fight, and they both paid for it. But you can't talk about that toxic team enough. But it is Affinity picking up the chicken dinner. The big 10 points replacement, along with their 5 kills, are going to go a long way there. But the story of that round is Boatman leading Team Toxic with a total of, gosh, I can't even count that high, 18 kills for the squad, and 11 to the man Boat himself and the 187Zs. A little bit of a modest round for them, only 2 kills, but rounding out our top 3 placements is that squad led by Insane. And that is our final round on Miramar. We have game 5 coming right back to you, ladies and gentlemen, back on Erangel, and we'll get that lobby set up now and be back in just a few moments.
All right, we are back for the fifth and final game of the NA portion of day one for the NA versus EU showdown. And we got some stuff to show you guys here. We have the scoreboard and kill leaders for today. So actually that is for the NA one. We have this is the NA scoreboard for today, excluding that last game. We're still waiting for that to update. We'll probably get that halfway through this match. Before that last match, Console Killers were in first place with 61 points. A pretty big lead for CK. Much bigger than we saw in EU there between some of the teams. Torch in second with 28 points. Third place, Affinity with 27. Then you can see a bunch of teams kind of in that lower 20, high teen section there in the top 10. So a lot of close teams. For the kill leaders, we have Pixel on CK and Turbot leading the way in first and second. Then we have Torch, Precision, AFI Omerta, and QRX for Seven Kings. And then in the damage, top damage leaders so far, again, it's going to be CK leading off the first and second marks here. Pixel with almost 2,000 damage. And then again, we'll catch the action here for Game 5. Just wanted to give you all a little bit of an update. And also just remind everybody, hi, I'm Blitz5, my co-host here, Stento, leading the action here for all of the games over the next month as we get through the regular season, then heading into the playoffs. Again, final match, plane path from the bottom of the military island all the way up to Zarki. Looks like we might see two teams drop military base. Main Gaming going hot 2 games in a row. We'll see what else pans out in the beginning here.
Yeah, very interesting plane path. A lot of the northeast side of the map is going to be kind of unplayable. We're not going to see a circle go over there. Definitely have to keep an eye on Seven Kings versus Main Gaming on the island. I think this is already breaking out. So maybe we need to get right over there. Earliest drop, people are already down on C block roofs. And this is going to break out pretty quickly, I think. Tragsy really close to QRXZ here. He's got an ump.
Shots coming from down the hallway there from Warhawk. Main Gaming, I feel like, was in the top 10 when we just went through those leaderboards. So I'm wondering if they're just trying to play more aggressive, or they feel like it's so early in the tournament, they want to get some more action here to kind of get warmed up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm not sure what the main drop is and what's the backup plan. But I think Seven Kings have been coming to military base since, you know, they were K7 and other teams before that. So it's very interesting to see. And like, I feel like they knew what they were getting into is kind of what I guess I'm leaning towards. So
Yeah.
It looks like they wanted an early fight. They wanted to kind of see what's going on here at Millie Base and see if this is an area they can claim. So love to see it.
Yeah, and I know that Main Gaming has Acid Burn and Ernster, I feel like the staple of the MG crew. And they've kind of had some players rotate in and out. They have had Bad Apples, a few other players I'm kind of blanking on right now. And then this time, FNX and Traxy, we've seen a few times as well. But I'm not super familiar with FNX.
Neither am I, but again, one story we've been talking about earlier is this 187Z squad and their apartments landing. And again, the Dub Hub is close by. The Dub Hubs have like a bittersweet evening so far, excuse me. But they've lost a couple people early on in the Erangel game. So it's going to be very important for this D8 squad to make sure they can keep 4 strong early on here in this last match of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Dub Up stayed with that one-off drop there to the side. This time working out for them. We'll see if anything happens. Otherwise, very quiet, Stento. A lot of people on the west side of the map because of this plane path.
Yeah, a lot of the zone is kind of unmanned, and a bunch of people are up in the George Pool area or up in Severny as well. So several teams are going to have to find their way over to the water there in the center of zone and find their way south throughout this map here, which is going to be a long journey for several teams. TXC, who we saw just have a great round on Miramar, and Eno in Pochinki are kind of in the best spots right now. but we'll see exactly what happens with this first shift. There is a very small percentage chance that we do come down south to the island. It looks like Main Gaming is still scrapping it up with 7 Kings here. Tried to get over there quickly myself, but FNX is going to go down, and it's just Ernster alone here at this point.
Yeah,
Excuse me, Acid Burn is over at police.
Yeah, Acid Burn dropped off to the side here off the bat. Looks like everybody kind of went here, and Acid Burn was just a little bit off there. Ernster holding the inside stair, so not going to have a viewpoint from there. 7K's running through this building, looking for Ernster. They definitely overwhelm him there. Acid Burn on the outside. At this point, I feel like it could be just a good time to get out of here. She's going to try to hide down on this wall. Warhawk saw her, though.
Must have been. Yeah,
Wow.
I must have seen her make that cross as he came out of the building. I didn't notice that, but making quick work of MG, claiming military base as their own is 7 Kings here. And they're just gonna have to make that rotation off the island now that it's all theirs.
For sure, classic K7 7 Kings now, which they are a different team, right? Since there's no relation to that team, or they flipped everything, right? They think they've changed, and Quavov had left a few teams, so this seems like a reassembled separate team. I'm not sure if I'm right about that.
I believe so, but still some of the same players, Destroya and Quavo, played a lot together, and in Warhawk as well. I'm not exactly sure when those three got QR's XZ involved. I think their fourth usually was Aimbot, if I'm not mistaken. So it looks like QRXZ has kind of taken Aimbot's spot, so they're kind of just rearranged a little bit again.
Yeah, interesting to see for sure. PI now rotating through the center. Center's open right now, Stendo. 2 good compounds. I prefer the center one here. Might not get a lot of action
it's very
here.
Interesting, because some of these zones do end on like those double farm buildings that you're looking at. I think I would prefer those double farm buildings over the 4 houses that are just to the west side, but it does look like PI is just going to kind of take what they see is safe here. And that's a good spot to be for now, so they're going to be happy with that. They're going to have Toxic just around to the corner to the east side, and just to the north of that, Dub Hub just took Potato Hill, so a very common spot we see people take early. It's a very great, good spot to get kills early on out of some rotations.
Yeah, the only thing about this compounds we were showing is when you go there, you're really not going to get too much action. Some teams might be looking for some points here in the final game. AE is rotating right underneath Potato Hill here, which that's why I tapped into their perspective. And now they're heading back down the hill. Trying to scope out this 2 blue buildings here. Looks like a few teams are opting to play North Stento because of the river here being in the zone. I think a lot of people are banking that this circle is going to pop north here. PI is getting a care package right to their location, which is nice. Let's take a look at what this is going to be. P90 for them. Seen that a lot today, I feel like, dropping in the care packages. Really just a lot of care packages all around. A lot of people I feel like have had care packages today.
Yeah, we've seen the P90 a number of times. We've seen people out here with Grozas and Hamas's and MKs. So we've seen an MG3. We've seen just about every
Yeah, you're right. The AUM, a lot of AUMs earlier on.
Yeah, we've seen just about everything get involved today. So really no hesitation from these teams to go after those packages. And as someone who gets a package every single PUBG game he plays, I love to see those guns getting involved. I genuinely believe that getting a care package gun and getting that 3 armor is game-changing, game-saving type plays. So if you can stay alive, if you can get a gun in that armor for your squad, it's going to be so big end game, whether it's the 3 helmet preventing you from taking a 1 tap to the head, or that 3 vest that just makes you win your 1v1, or it's that Groza that it puts in your hand, man. I genuinely believe that a care package is such a momentum swinger for a team. you know, even if it's not in an intense early game situation, just to get yourself that gun really is a boost for the squad. And especially, you know, in particular hands, there's people out here who can do some absolutely vile things with like an auto MK and stuff, that things that like some people, you know, don't even understand how they're controlling it and stuff, because that auto MK is just insane. So I'm always going to stand by the care packages. They're just not only fun to go for, but they're just worth it almost if you can make sure that you're staying alive. But taking a look at our map here, lots of teams have kind of found their way into their phase 1 spot right now. And we're just waiting for that first shift up, see what's going to happen here. Are we going to go south a little bit? Is this going to just kind of center onto Potato Hill in the Pochinki area, which is a little bit more predictable? Or are we going to get shifted to one of the bridges more seriously or not? So it's all going to happen in the next 15 seconds or so. And for now, just watching the kind of long range shots trade across your map from these teams, because nobody's too close to anyone else at the moment.
Yeah, and 7 Kings are finally making their way over the bridge here. Circle pop to the west, so PI took a good spot. That compound to the east of them is open, and so is 12 stack here.
Yeah, interesting. I think we're going to see someone crash that compound that you're talking about, the twin farm buildings there. But yeah, PI in a very good spot still. So same with TXC. And there's a ton of team splits if you look up towards shelter and school along those roads.
Yeah, and CK right here as well.
Yeah, so that's a big happening here. Maybe we want to tap into their perspective and see what's going on with CK with this rotation. This is our first place team trying to find their way into zone here from a difficult position.
Yeah, AE right behind CK here in the coop. And the UAS. CK Turbot actually takes out one of the members from the car. That was a drive-by from Turbot
today.
Absolutely insane play there.
Oh, and Turbot gets put to half shields and then is just tumbling down the hill. Oh, he kind of left Coma alone, but Coma does turn on to DD. He's gonna have to do the same with Rain unless the rest of the squad can pull up in time. They're gonna pull up right on Rain and clean him up. The rest of the squad is going to be just in time here, but Rain is getting down the hill. He's going to get on a bike of his own.
Trying to get out of here in time. He's going to drive right past one of the enemies there. Can he get down this so quick enough? CK has really been on today, Stento. They are making it look easy on the battlegrounds, which we all know it's not. And Rain is out of there. Watches is by himself, made it to the water area, and now CK is kind of figuring out what they want to do here. RMV, I wasn't sure if they were going to leave their compound. They're staying put for right now. Dubhub is right above CK.
We got to get up to Potato Hill. We got to get up there. Dubhub, phase 9. I don't know how P9 got up there, but also CK and the
Babaku goes down.
Close.
We're going to tap into P9's perspective. They just had a nice knock there. Babaku, they're going to get this flush as well. Wag goes down, so Blurtsy's trying to get over there. Fingers is here, has Dilla down. He wants to get these points, but then gets knocked from behind.
Wow, the trades are going out like crazy, and the third party from the northeast side of the 187Zs are playing a spoiler for both teams. Fingers kind of got distracted by the third party. Same with Dilla as all of these challenges happen.
And now CK is getting involved behind 187.
And they're running through him, Blitz.
This was a third party into a fourth party. Turbot on the way. Bizarre leading the charge as well. They spot out Savage. Knock with the AK. Thirst coming down now. 5 total kills for CK. Are leaders today. They're winning by a pretty big margin, so this is just going to add to that.
Yeah, this is they've been fragging all day. They're moving through the map as a unit, and they're laying down their shots very effectively. I don't know how long Turbot has been with this team. I'm pretty sure he was playing on a different team called 5-Star Generals in some of our weeklies recently. So I think Turbot is somewhat of a new addition to CK's competitive unit here, and clearly I think he's kind of been their most valuable fragger here today, laying down several big kill games here, kind of just fragging out of his mind.
Yeah, and Pixel just making it look easy with a nice spray and professional lean peek there with the mini. And you're absolutely right. I think I saw FSG disbanded, so it looks like they picked up Turbot. And like I said, this team, yeah, I know Coma's been around for a while, but I think some of the maybe members here have kind of switched up a little bit. Definitely looking strong so far.
14 minutes have passed. Next circle has shifted kind of drastically. A lot of the water is in play now. It's about 50-50 water versus land almost here. And everyone is going to be forced into a very limited amount of terrain on the north side of the island here. The mainland is getting shrunk, and coast is kind of the place to be right now, I think, Blitz.
Yeah,
a couple
Warhawk
teams
just got a knock with the nade, and now they're pushing. We're tapped into Quavo's perspective here.
Always a good perspective to jump into. Seven Kings have had another one of those up and down type days. Quavo can't find his way up the rocks here, but he's gonna stick with it and try to get a weird little angle here. You never really expect someone to be doing this type of a climb. Destroy's kind of watching over as Warhawk gets a different angle. He doesn't connect with those shots though. OH backs him off with a nice little 1v1 win, and you wonder if these reses are going to come off on both sides. It looks like the Seven Kings are playing it kind of slow and just kind of holding angles. And now Torch might have a little bit of the upper hand as three players are really close to each other here. And they know they just got the knock onto Warhawk. So we're on board with OH. He's kind of clearing the top side of the hill. And they're going to play this aggressive, I think. They're trying to figure out if they've backed off of the rocks into the warehouses or not. So the rest of Torch is kind of just scouring this little rock face on the side here, Blitz, but they can't find the members for the Seven Kings, which are back in the warehouse. And then one member is a little bit further away to the east side, hanging out on the rocks. But Torch doing a good job of getting some angles here. Precision taking the west side and just making sure he's not going to get shot in the back, which is a very, very much a possibility. There's another team over there, I think, that might be is that okay? That's P9 on the other side there. So there you go. Just as I say it, it's Fingers with the knock onto Precision. And this is the type of thing that Destroya and 7K and those boys understand. They know they were just fighting Torch. They're going to see the third party knock onto Precision, and they're going to figure out when is their time to get aggressive onto it.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that with all the third party shots coming in on Torch, that they didn't just send it into the building. They kind of had some good trades against the Seven Kings. I feel like they could have went in and maybe got that. Now they're really kind of paying for their indecisiveness, or maybe unsureness, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and P9 is just kind of up on this hill with free shots down onto the backside of Torch here. So they picked up 2 of the 3 knocks onto Torch, and OH now kind of just alone. Not really sure what he can do here. He's going to try to put on a boost, but he's got third parties on the north side as well. So I think that he's just going to hold these rocks. And none of those revives are going to be able to come out onto that squad, I think.
Yeah, the flush is coming in now. As you mentioned, just OH up here. Look at his spot in first person. He's got this little kind of nook in the cave with the foldable shield out. And the circle continued to kind of center up on that spot we called out earlier, Stento. Finally, team's there. A lot of fighting going on the northwest side. Coming in late for this, but we're going to try to catch the action. It looks like SI, AFI, and Toxic Lady Lasers all in a battle here on this side of the map.
Yeah, this C9 hill is kind of crazy, but they all want this to kind of shake out sooner than later. They're going to try to get a res onto Southern here. They're going to put one more smoke down, and the shots are raining out overhead. SI, AFI, and TLL are really locked into this battle here, but the third parties from the south side from PI are playing a factor, kind of pushing everyone onto the north side of the hill. So Lodi's going to win that 1v1 versus Virgo with the insta thirst onto that. That allows Lex to push over the hill, get the knock onto Zalodi, but instantly traded out to enemy. Hobie's there for that thirst. Now it's just Crazy left to kind of deal with a broken down 4-man of AFI in Omerta, and a combination of Lawbride and Omerta is going to take down that last player. Actually, it was Bloodhounds from a different angle that ended up getting all the way down to those farm buildings that we were talking about earlier that pick up that last kill there. But a great fight there by the Toxic Lady Lasers, SI, and AFI. AFI are going to be the only ones walking away from this. They've got 5 kills, and they're still 3 strong.
Yeah, that was... I can't believe they're getting these players up. I thought Lawbright really was going to do a number on that third-party shots. So unbelievable that they walk away from this. But there you go, AFI, another strong team tonight. Playing very, very well.
I didn't see how CK got onto these cliffs on the south side. They
Two vehicles here.
And I don't know if they landed over here or whatnot, but again, CK has been by far and away the team to watch here tonight, having some very good consistency to their games, winning almost all of their fights without dropping players. We saw them get to 3 strong in some end games, but those games they were still clutching up. We saw them win back-to-back games on a Wrangle, I believe. So maybe one Wrangle, one Miramar. But either way, the consistency is there for console killers. And they've just been in great spots all night, Blitz.
Yeah, they really have been, and they're getting really close to Turbot. It's very close to Blurtsy here. Blurtsy fell down the mountain. I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh, just the last member left of P9. Must have missed when the rest of the team got eliminated there, so he's just hiding out, no longer in zone. Warhawk spots Turbot, gets a quick knock with the M4.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had so much action today, Stenta, between EU and NA games. I'm like kind of blurring, who's won the last couple of games now.
Yeah, I understand very much.
Wow, PI wasn't that far from zone, and they're taking a late game pickup. So for people that don't know, you have to use the pickup by the end of phase 4. And as that's happening, we're watching RMV, a bloodbath at the shed, and the last couple members just got wiped by 7
Blitz,
Kings
I don't know if I
there.
actually got it out or not, but I was saying I expect a big game from K7 here, or excuse me, 7 Kings. But PI has dropped directly onto their head. Warhawk is going to get downed and thirsted. But quickly, this squad has 14 kills, so the damage has already been done. There's still 19 players alive. They saw the big kill game from Boatman and Toxic, and they wanted one of their own. This would be a devastating game here with already 14 on the board.
Wow, yeah, 7K coming out of nowhere now. Well, not out of nowhere, but they've just been playing a little slower today, kind of going for those center spots. They've also tried to use the pickups and had a failed attempt there. And yeah, I shouldn't say out of nowhere because they were playing pretty well last match on Miramar, but this is a big one for them, something that we're used to seeing from these kind of players, these huge games. Already had 14 kills. Quavo just ran into OH there, who was hiding out still from so
the
long
rest
ago.
Of the members, Destroy is scaling the rocks, trying to figure out how he can get into this fight here. The goal is to save Quavo right now, so Q, RZ, and Destroyer are on the case. Q lays down some pretty serious shots. That's going to kind of open the door here for Destroyer to hopefully push on aggressively. They're both going to challenge at the same time, as we often see them do. Dominating is what popped up on my screen. 15 kills for the 7 Kings boys. They're going to be able to get Quavo up here. And now let's shift our attention to this BHCK situation. I'm not exactly sure what happened as CK tries to push off the coast. They're met by this Bloodhound squad, and the smokes are out, right? Revives are out. And it's important to note that the PI is a solo in that shack over there by Bazaar, one of the members for CK. So some solos that are really got the option to play spoiler here. But Pixel, as we've seen him do so often, opening things up here with a knock for CK. Great shots with the M4 onto the head of Muerte.
Yeah, that was a huge knock. It felt like CK was in a tough spot, but I did remember that there is this kind of terrain level difference here where CK can kind of hide out, because otherwise this is an insane push. But Shadow gets a quick knock onto Pixel there. Coma's trying to decide what to do, gets a trade heady with the AUG. Backed off for a second.
That was so clean from Coma. He saw the player jump and just absolutely connected with all of those shots. He's going to try a grenade on the other 2 members. It doesn't end up landing for him, but this CK team's already got 9 kills, excuse me, and they're going to be able to get back to 3 strong here as a nade comes out from the other team here.
Just a little short.
Muerte. Yeah. Oh, that one is not.
That
Pixel's
one's
gonna
not
get
short.
re-knocked.
Meanwhile, Bazaar has a couple enemies in front of him, so he can't help out here. Coma's going to get a first aid. He's got some more lethals. He could try to throw lethal at that tree and then look for a player potentially pushing. He gets the double kill, double knock. One of them is the kill.
Wow. So it's just one player left up here for BH. 2 for CK, but as you said, Bazaar is over there with a little bit of a fight going on with the Seven Kings. He's going to win that 1v1 with Quavo. And now it's up to Destroya and Q again to help out Quavo here. That thirst is going to come out. So now it's just 2 members for 7K. And Bazaar is going to kind of back off of this, try to wrap back to the rest of his team rather than try to push down the hill towards the Seven Kings. It's just a really smart play from Bazaar.
Yeah, unbelievable here. If you haven't noticed, we are in our final 4 teams. It happened really quickly here with so many players probably getting killed trying to get to this area of the map. If you're anywhere north of this, it's really kind of hard to cross over here. TXC is actually making their way over. It's 2v2, v3, v2, so it's anybody's game here, Stento. And really the team with 3 is out in this field, which they have this dip, but if it leaves, the circle kind of goes a little north here, they could be in a tough spot right now. TXC making their way into the compound, which is going to make this kind of mutual destruction, which we've seen so many times today.
Yeah, it really has. This might open up the opportunity for a third-party situation, but it's kind of interesting. We have 2 teams in the compounds and 2 teams hanging out on the outside. I also want to point out that Destroyer just picked up an MK as his teammate QRXZ picks up a knock onto Bazaar, so they've got a little bit of a 2v2 situation, and it's going to be very tough for CK to find their way out of this now with Q close range and Destroyer with the MK long range at a different angle. It's a really difficult situation.
Yeah, Destroyer flushes Bazaar. Q kind of went for a long nade there, but CK is already out of that spot.
Yeah, Q is just making sure that there's nobody on this edge here. He just continues to kind of jump check this high left side, and he doesn't trust it, but CK has backed off a little bit closer to that tree. And Destroyer is just kind of holding a different angle. Can't see much into the buildings and can't really see CK from this spot. He's checking a rock or two that they might have went to cover, but they don't really realize that CK is kind of backed off and pushed kind of southwest away from that location.
Yeah, Destroyer's also kind of looking here. It looks like they're very skeptical of these rocks and the tree here. They're even mauling that rock, Stento. Meanwhile, on the other side, again, TXC and BH are just kind of in the compounds trying to figure out what to do. I'm going to kind of zone out. This is the least amount of players we've had, this early on. It was phase 6. We were already down to this amount of players. A lot of circles over the past, honestly, during a lot of our events, Stento, a lot of the circles have been in the open field. I'm almost convinced at this point that they've tweaked the esports settings to pop up less in the cities. You rarely see a city finish. I mean, we saw that power grid finish, but I can't remember the last time I've seen a city finish like Los Leones or any of the big ones like Pachinki in esports mode. A lot of field finishes, and I feel like that's where PUBG likes for these games to go, because that's where you just see a lot of gunplay, a lot of strategy, when people are utilizing their utility like smokes and stuns.
Yeah, it's a great point. We're still with these 4 teams, and it all unfolded really quickly here. So again, we're dealing with a little bit of a slow end game. And we've been kind of on board with the Seven Kings for a while because they've got 17 kills already. They're kind of playing with house money here in the end of this game, trying to put up maybe their first chicken dinner of the day to cap off what is an insane round 5 for them as they kind of push in on this edge. I think that's a great spot for us to tap into. I'm not sure if the compound is about to break out right now, but I really like the wrap that I'm seeing from QRXZ and Destroyer here for the Seven Kings. And Destroyer quickly spots Pixel in the grass. No snakes allowed over here, brother, with the auto MK. He has spotted Coma as well in the bush.
Wow.
Destroyer, quick work with both of them. 19 kills for the Seven Kings, and they are just doing it nice and easy on this edge here. That MK almost shoots itself sometimes, huh, Blitz?
Unbelievable, man, there with the MK14. Crazy action. Destroy back in business now, almost at 20 kills.
It's just one member left for the Bloodhounds in these buildings, and 2 members of TXC trying to deal with them soon so they can square up with the 2-man for the 7 Kings. But honestly, Blitz, with this zone right now, the 7 Kings needs to push up and get some good angles on this, and it's probably going to be easy chickens for them.
Yeah, I think if they just play smart here, get into position, a little bit of cover, eventually the circle is going to leave Freight and TXC.
Yeah, TXC kind of realizing this. Onyx and Tremi are getting out of that. They do not want to be in a fight with the solo in the compound.
Smart move. They don't. They only have 2 smokes.
like it a
Tremi's
lot
got
too,
it.
but
Oh, Onyx goes down quick though.
Yeah,
K7
Destroyer
is
with some
no joke now.
devastating
Jeez
shots.
Louise.
Oh my God, K7 Destroyer leading the way with the MK7 kills, and he's got the 6x on it. They know where the last player is. They heard them scrapping up with TXC here, and right now Freight is gonna have a hard time getting out of that building here. These guys have been fragging out all around, and what was a pretty modest day for Destroyer and the 7 Kings here is turning into a monstrous end here. They're going to end up with 21, maybe 22 kills in the chicken, which is just going to propel them right towards the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to have to take a look at the leaderboards right after this game. For people listening in, stick around so you guys can see some of the action. Again, this is just day 1. We're going to be streaming tomorrow and Wednesday for day 2 and day 3 of the first week event. But this match won't be included, but they're going to end up with 22 total kills there. So this is going to put a major, leap forward for 7K, but definitely want to see where people were at least going into this game here as we see the final. So that's
just a well-distributed 22 kills amongst the 7K boys. They're 7-6-5-4. It was a tough round for BH. They were in a good spot, but they were only able to pick up 1 kill in the second place there. And rounding out the top 3 in the final match of day 1 is TXC. We've seen them have a great day as well as they closed out a good round on Miramar in match 4, but that's going to be 7 kills and the 3rd place there, Blitz.
Yes, I want to take it to the current scoreboard. Again, this is as of going into this last match. Console Killers were in a huge lead, and Toxic kind of brought it back with that big game they had there. Boatman with 11 or 12 kills he had. So they're only less than 20 points behind now with 45 total points in second. AFI right behind them with 42 points in 3rd place. And then rounding out the top 5 would be Torch and Ascension Esports. So going into this game, 7 Kings were in 6th place, and you got to imagine with that dub now, they're going to be most likely in this 3rd or 2nd spot, which will be really interesting to see. And then just to show off some of the other data we have here for you guys, top kill leader so far were Boat after that last game, passing CK Pixel and Turbot. And then for the damage leaders, here we go. We got Boat, of course, just passing Pixel, who had 2,000 damage, but with 2,100. 2 members of TXC there, over 1,000. Same with CK. And very good. We'll bring it out here. Stento and I thank you guys for tuning in to day 1. For people that were here for the EU game, we appreciate you. Again, this was the NA portion. We just finished our 5 matches. We'll be posting more content on social media, letting everybody know the schedule and everything that's going on here with the game. So basically, for the rest of the month, Stento and I will be here on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday doing the games. 3 days for NA, just 2 for EU. We have a few less teams for them. And then we will eventually kind of take the top teams from that and have our playoff and final system here. Let them know anything else you want to say, Stento?
I just want to thank everyone who's watching, man. I really do enjoy hosting these events. It's a lot of work, but we wouldn't do it unless we really enjoyed being here. So all the support, all the players, all the teams, and everyone watching and participating, we thank you guys a lot. If anyone has any questions about how our events work, please make sure you join the Main Gaming Discord. Follow Main Gaming on Twitter. We've got a big team of content creators here who are always live. And we're always here to answer any questions or help anyone out in the PUBG console community, however we possibly can. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Day 1 is just the start here. As Blitz said, we're going to be back the next 3 weeks, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then we're going to have our playoffs the weekends following that. So this is an amazing day 1. Some insane team plays, some insane individual plays. I'm going to sleep like an absolute son of a bitch tonight. I know that. And,
Absolutely.
I'm excited for tomorrow. That's all I got for you, Blitz. How about you?
Yeah, we'll get some sleep, and hopefully we'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more action. Really great games, some high-level console play for sure. It feels like just, it gets better and better every time we do these events, and right now it's really at the top level, and great to see so many teams. So again, thank you guys. GG's, everybody, and hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody. We're out. Adios.
Peace out, guys.